heroes, forever on the defense. But no longer.
Welcome to the stream, my friends. Hope you guys are all doing well. It's time for some more ECL Season 6 Qualifier, episode number 2. So in the last week of the ECL, well, I think we actually kind of skipped a week there. I can't quite remember, but it was about a week and a half ago. The first qualifier for Season 6, if we take a look at the top 8, was actually the Dark Lord Falcon. So he came in with a pretty convincing finals against Ice Power Total War, who also played very well and was able to win that first week. So currently we are in the second week. The structure of this event, for those of you guys who haven't seen it, is basically you have 8 weeks of competition, 8 qualifiers. The winner of each qualifier goes on to play in the grand finals and has a big old fun tournament, which should be quite a bit of fun. David Pirelli, on my way to the casino in CT with my mom, so I can't stay and watch. No worries, David. Hope you have a fun and safe trip with your mom. First donation, but you deserve much more. Really appreciate that, man. That's very generous of you, dude. Yeah, I used to my grandpa when I was like I guess in my early 20s, whenever I used to go visit my grandpa, who was like in his late 70s, he would always be like, "Oh, let's go to the casino, boy. Let's go have some fun." He would like drag me out there. Yeah, it was fun. Cheers, man. David, really appreciate that donation. So Falcon did qualify last week. So now we're going to be waiting. We have one player who's in the top 4. The other ones are like literally like 5 minutes away from finishing. So I figured we'd just start the stream and kind of hang tight for a couple minutes while they get there. So yeah, and sorry about the delays. It's just the nature of the beast. So if I have like a preset tournament and I know who's going to be there, I can set a start time. But with ECL, today we had 82 players playing, and basically I don't know how long it's going to take them to get to the top 4, so I kind of set up the stream just guessing. A little bit off today, so it is what it is. Yeah, I know, man. A live stream, finally, we're here. Dash Bandon, welcome. I'm new to the competitive scene. Any tips? Yeah, so typically if you're new, I would recommend learning, 3 main factions that you, get pretty proficient with, because if you're playing competitive, and also just in general, it's good to have some faction range. So like if you're going on ladder and your opponent just counterpicks you, you have some other choices. But generally, I would recommend learning 3 factions, each of which kind of covers the weaknesses of the others or has like similar playstyles. Basically, you need to have like, if you look at every single faction that's playable, you want to have a faction of yours that can like contend against most of those. You need to have an answer for dwarves, an answer for the undead factions. There's a multitude of kind of schools of thought and theories about it. But yeah, so for myself, I generally main Vampire Coast, Empire. I'm okay at Skaven, and I can play Chaos and High Elves a little bit too. Those are my decent ones right now. You did make it on time. We're just getting started. I don't know if I think Ben got eliminated 2-1, but he had a really good run. Ben the Barman is an outstanding player for sure, but I think he did get eliminated. I can't quite remember, so go ahead and check in here. Yeah, it looks like we're still going here. I'll check the page of the tournament and see if the players are in the top 4 yet. I know we have 1 so far. We're very, very close to the finals here. On the top side of the bracket, we have Hadries facing off against Gabo Slayer. And as a matter of fact, we can pull this up for you guys right now. So if we go to the web browser, let's pull that up, and good. So here's today's tournament. You can see it's pretty massive for sure. Yeah, that's a lot of people playing. Each of these is a best of 3, so best of 3s can take quite some time. We started at 9 a.m. So now we're just kind of getting to the end of the round here. So up on the top side, we have Hadries facing off against Gabo Slayer, and you can see here the opponents they played. So Hadries defeated Faust, Lunacy, and Freaky in Llama. So Hadries has already played. Yeah, this is his 5th best of 3 of the day. That is some serious taxation for sure. Gabo Slayer defeated Eternius, C3PO down there, and also Post Deviant. So there's the Gabo Slayer. And then right below that, we have Ice Power Total War facing off against Alfredinho. You can see their respective routes. Ice Power did play Reginald Puggington, Dark Phoenix, and the Canadian Ace, as well as Rinsler. So, yeah, a lot of games for him, too. For all these guys, really, it's a very, very long event. So we have Alfredinho here. He played against Showtime, and both these players have been playing really, really well lately, especially in my Swiss League. But he did defeat the Showtime, and then from there, he had to face Maker and Valkanos, really tough opponents across the board. Now, here on the bottom, this is where we're going to be starting off as soon as we're ready. We have Carl Harmon against the Chosen One they played, and Carl Harmon did win that. My apologies if I am mangling your name. I'll do my best. But he's going to be either playing Satsuma or Void Lulls, and I believe these guys are almost done. They've been playing for about 45 minutes, so they should be rounding up here in a second. And of course, whenever we do ECLs and streams like this, we are always doing the top 4. So that is kind of the standard status quo there in that particular situation. So now we can load in to the actual lobby, adjust the names, just hang tight for the next player. And if you guys have any questions about multiplayer, any of that sort of good stuff, we can just kind of hang out and enjoy each other's company, man. It's going to be good. All right. Turin, for your Knights of More paint scheme, do you paint the armor black with gray highlights or silver with the dark wash? Thomas Prohaska, in the beginning, I kind of wish that I had done the silver with the dark wash. I think that would have looked nicer, but how I did it is I just spray primed them Chaos Black and did Abaddon Black touch-ups and, wherever I needed it, really. And then from there, I dry brush the black armor with Dark Reaper, so it gives it like a bluish hue, and then I do edge highlights with like a gray. I haven't done the edge highlights yet, but that's my scheme overall. Yeah, and it's a pretty easy scheme. It doesn't take long to finish each model. I do the gold with Balthazar Gold, which is a very muted gold, but then I use Gehenna's Gold to layer on it, which gives it a ton of shine. So you do like Gehenna's Gold in the center area of your gold, and that like makes it shine, while the edges are a little bit more brassed down to give it a nice contrast. Yeah, the ECL's open to anyone. Today we had 82 people playing. It was pretty crazy for sure. Yeah, I saw the little teaser. Pretty cool stuff for sure. Yeah, I don't know. I'm hyped. Whatever it is, just give it to me, Precious. I need some more content. Yeah, so I kind of adjusted the Knights of More scheme because they have red typically in their scheme for their plumes and on the feathers, and for their I ended up going purple, like a really rich purple, which I think looks cooler. So basically they're black, gold, and purple, my army. Yeah. So pretty exciting stuff. Yeah. I'll do a video soon. I only have 3 Demogryph Knights painted and like a couple state troops and a wizard, so I want to wait till I get a bigger portion of the force painted up, and then I'll show you guys. I'll do like a whole video showing the Empire army and everything. What's really cool is like I can use them for Age of Sigmar if I want to play that, but when Old World comes out, they're on the modern bases, so they're not on square bases. I switched it because I'm like, you know what? Why keep them on square bases when I could currently play with them in a game and just, you know, enjoy them? And then when it goes back to square bases for Old World, I can just put them on trays. They have trays that modify that direction. Modifying square to circle doesn't really work because the edges point out and ruin the base basically. But circle to square or whatever, oval, whatever the hell the shape is, that actually works really well. The Randman says, hey, Turin, remaining Lizard, Wood Elves, and Norska balanced trio. Are there any... Okay, so you have Lizardmen, Wood Elves, and Dwarves. So Lizardmen, Wood Elves, and Norska. So Dwarves are decent against Lizards and Wood Elves, but so if somebody banned your Norska, pick Dwarves. Yeah, you know, I honestly think that's fine. Wood Elves, you might struggle against Dwarf players a little bit with that trio, but honestly, Wood Elves can beat Dwarves. You just have to learn how to rush them properly. And Norska can fight Dwarves pretty evenly as well, so I think you're probably more or less okay. Yeah, I think that sounds fine. You just need to learn how to beat the Dwarves with someone that isn't your Norska. Yeah, and Lizards, it's tough, but doable. You know, it's definitely tough. Oh, yeah, Lucas, for sure, man. For sure. So, yeah, no, we're waiting for his opponent right now. They should be wrapping up here in a minute. So I just wanted to start the stream, chat with you guys while they're getting their games in. Yeah, but they should be done any moment. I know Satsuma and Void Lulz, they might have gone to game 3, which could explain why it's taking a little bit longer, but nonetheless, we'll just hang tight and chill out. We'll just have a Q&A stream until they're ready. Why not? So the army is just like Cult of Moor themed in general. So they're basically all, yeah, I mean, I have Demogryphs, I have State Troopers. They're all painted in Knights of Moor colors. They have like golden armor with like purple cloth and everything. So the whole army is just like Cult of Moor. And the bases are like a Dead Earth graveyard. So I actually have tombstones on their bases. The whole theme is that they're like a Cult of Moor army that's like crusading into Sylvania to fight vampires. That's like the whole theme of the army, basically. Yeah. Best faction versus Lizards. Vampire Coast is good against them. I mean, there's a couple other ones. Yeah. Some people, Tomb Kings generally have a good matchup versus Lizardmen too. Yeah, those two. I think Dwarves have a good matchup there. Empire can do pretty well against Lizards also. It's an even one, though. Yeah. Give me a Dowie DLC. Yeah, for some reason, I just feel like we're not going to get a Dwarf DLC. Like, ever. I think we'll get, like, a Dwarf FLC at some point, where they'll add, like, some, you know, I don't know, a couple characters, maybe, like, 1 or 2 units. I don't know. Yeah, but Empire can be pretty decent against Lizardmen for sure. It's really not bad. It's not bad at all. So yeah, basically Harmon, I'm taking like some loose inspiration from them. It's not like an exact like lore friendly situation. I'm just like inspired by their theme and kind of the you know, the skulls and the kind of Grim Reaper aesthetic of those dudes. Any recommendations for greenskins versus Lizardmen as the greenskins? Yeah, Stone Trolls are pretty good. Like you can go Stone Trolls with just like you know, cheap infantry, you know, goblins or orc boys, and then you back them up with Spider Riders. You probably want to run like 3 or 4 Forest Goblin Spider Riders just to deal with Pterodon harass. Got to be careful. Lizards can snipe your Lord with Pterodon, so typically I like a Lord that's a little bit more durable. You can go like Flying Azag, or you can even go Grom the Paunch. Skarsnik is very good if you can protect him too. Although Rampage isn't that strong against Lizards with the Fermented Fungi because they have Cold-Blooded, so you can't get as much value off that. Richard Askaroth, do you believe there is any hidden gems amongst the lesser used schools of magic? Thanks to all great streams. That's actually a good question. Yeah, there's some good ones. Like even in Lore of the Deep, like a couple of the spells aren't bad. It's like if Lore of the Deep was, if Vampire Coast didn't have Lore of Vampires, like, you know, I think you'd see some cool play out of that. Like it has some really good debuff spells like Fog of the Damned, and Tide Call is pretty cost effective. It's like a little Wind Blast. If we're looking at, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, there's a couple. I'd have to have them all in front of me really to give you a good mention there. You mentioned that maybe the White Dwarf could be moved to a different start location. Yeah, that'd be cool. I think it'd be nice. Yeah, a roaming White Dwarf faction. For Empire, Volkmar and Flag seems to be common versus Undead. Is there any situation where the Warrior, Priest, and Swordsman is better? And Flagellants? So the problem about bringing basic Swordsmen against Vampires is that they just kind of like... they get attrition down too quickly. Like they have relatively low armor, so like even shitty skeletons can kind of work on them, and they typically vampire counts will break your army very quickly if you don't have like sustainable high leadership troops. So that's why, you know, going low leadership against them is just like kind of it's rough. It can work out, but that's why Flagellants and Sigmar Suns are so good there, because they'll beat down chaff really quickly, and they'll hold against the more elite troops and allow your other things like your demis or your wagons or grenade launchers and other things to carry the day. We need dwarfs on bears. Oh, that'd be kind of metal for sure. Misha in chat. Hey Misha, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Says dwarfs on bears will definitely happen if you mention it to the right modding community. We'll probably see it at some point. Yeah, like a Dowie riding a bear, which is a hilarious thought. Hilarious, indeed. Man, there's some fierce battles going on. Ice Power and Alfredino. Like, this is the thing. Sometimes when you get to the top 8, a lot of times the players will basically just, you know, go to game 3 because they're evenly matched at this point, right? A dwarf bear pig. Oh man. Yeah, so hang tight, guys. We'll be getting the tournament started. The actual game's probably in the next 15 minutes or so. So just, yeah, just hang out. You guys have any questions, shoot them my way. Basic swordsman win against Skelly Chef. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, low leadership is against vampires is kind of a death sentence. I think, where was the last time we saw that? You know, the first time I really realized that was basically in one of the Everchosens of old. So I think this was like the third Everchosen. We had a game against... it was Talaxlan Soothsayer playing the Vampire Counts, and he was playing against like Ninja Hund, and Ninja Hund like brought like a Chaos army, which is already a really bad matchup into vampires, but he brought Chaos, and he was using Marauders, like and like basically like if you're gonna try and play that as Chaos, you need some elite Chaos warriors or chosen level troops, but he brought like Marauders, and I remember his whole army was like routed by a Mortis engine in a matter of like 30 seconds. Like, because they drop zombies behind you, they all cause fear baseline, so your leadership's already taking a hit. It was a brutal game. It was a brutal game, and that was a moment where it really clicked with me. I'm like, yeah, you know, I've tried to bring like cheap troops there, but it just doesn't, you know, work out too well. I mean, some factions like Skaven can, because they just throw Skaven slaves at you and they cost so little that it doesn't even matter. But generally, yeah, it's tricky because their troops cause fear. They're more or less unbreakable. Pretty nasty stuff for sure. Did you see the Michael Cthulhu New England Blacksmith Mad Lad video with his Gotrek axe? No, I didn't. That's pretty cool. Is it an old video or a newer one? I'll have to check that out. What is the best faction to main for multiplayer in your opinion? Probably Greenskins. If like, yeah, Misha remembers that. If you had to play one faction, like, and really like, it's gonna be really strong, I would say Greenskins. Like, I think like, yeah, they have a couple weird matchups. Like, they don't like fighting Vampire Counts. I feel like they're pretty good against Coast in the right hands. They can do fine against Tomb Kings more or less. And, you know, Vampire Counts is probably rough. But aside from that, like, Greenskins can really crump, like most people. Like, if you are like a specialist, you learn how to play them, they can be really, really scary. So I would say Greenskins are really good. Like, even their bad matchups, they can win those. Like, Vampires, they can win that, you know. It might be hard, but, you know. Like, you could go into a tournament, play Greenskins, ban no one, and like have a chance of surviving. Whereas there's some factions you just can't do that. Turin, how enjoyable was the last DLC for you in terms of campaign and multiplayer? So multiplayer is great. I love it. The campaign was fine. You know, I honestly, the Sisters campaign was pretty cool because it was so different. You know, it was becomes a steamroll though. Wood Elves are a campaign that with like proper micro and like army decision, you can abuse super hard. In campaign, like with the Way Watchers and the Hawk Riders. The campaign element was okay. Yeah, it was okay. Yeah, but for multiplayer it was good. I thought it was fun. There was a lot of good changes too, like the mass changes. It did kind of make dragons kind of crappy, but generally I liked the mass changes because single entity mass has been kind of an annoying thing in the side of this game for quite some time. What's your Beastman wish list? God, I don't know. Beastmen probably just need something that helps them fight like big monsters better. Like they have the Gorbel, but the Gorbel is kind of haggard. Minotaurs, like they need a big beastie that just go fisticuffs. So like a Jabberslythe or a Gorgon, something that like really can help them fight like big scary undead monsters. Things like that would be very cool because Beastmen do very good against all the living factions as is. They don't really need many changes there. But where they need changes is like a new Lord choice so that it's not just Morker, and then something to fight like big undead single entity abuse. So I think giving them a cool monster and like a Lord that isn't like a boring ass foot Lord that just waddles around and regenerates would be really cool. Because Kazrak is absolute garbage. Morker is really good, but he's super boring. So that's my 2 cents on that. That's my 2 cents. Misha, you haven't picked up the Wood Elf DLC. It's pretty fun. Yeah, the campaign's cool. I mean, the Forge of Daith thing is a little bit kind of underwhelming. Like, that could have been way cooler, but like, just looking past that, like, the whole world tree mechanic is cool. The fact that you don't have to complete provinces is really cool. You don't have to expand. You can play kind of narrow. I think it's a very neat campaign in that respect. Yeah. Yeah, Dryka's campaign was cool. I like that. I played that for a head-to-head campaign. It was awesome. Yeah, it was awesome. Dryka's campaign was really cool. Yeah, the sisters are really OP in campaign. Like, I don't see how you could lose a head-to-head campaign with them. I guess if they out-macro you and just have, like, a ton of bases. But in head-to-head, if you just have a Doom stack of Hawk Riders, oh my god, you could just be so abusive in a head-to-head campaign. So abusive. Like, yeah, sisters themselves are already, like, really, really crazy. We might end up doing the top side first. We have Hadri's and Gabo Slayer battling, so we might have to change up the lobby situation here. We'll see who finishes first. Kazrak is so bad. Malagor's trash too. Malagor sucks. He's just like super squishy. Like, he might as well just be a Bray Shaman. Like, he has like some shitty aura of like -4 leadership or something. It's just like, oh god, just hot garbage, man. And his starting location sucks. Like, in the campaign before, he used to start like I'm pretty sure he used to start in attrition in campaigns. So he would just like start in Vampire Land, like taking attrition instantly. Although, honestly, you know, that campaign is kind of fun for head-to-head in a way. So, yeah. Rickard and David and Michael, thank you so much for your donations, dudes. Really do appreciate that. We're almost there. I know. So currently we're waiting because, yeah, I could have delayed the stream to 2 o'clock, but clearly you can see that wouldn't have mattered. We're waiting for the players in the top, because I start the stream once we get to top 4. That's how the ECLs have always worked, and I just misguessed when we would get to that point. So we're waiting for a couple of their players to finish the matches to decide who will be facing Call Harmon here. What do you think about the recent buff to Mounted Yeoman? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a fan. With Bretonnia, you might as well just take Knights of the Realm. Like, Yeomen are alright. Maybe bringing one sneaky Yeoman just to like dive in the back line and shut something down is good, I think. Yeah. Yeah, but like, it's so the thing is, Prawn Wonton, yeah, Malagor is a cheap caster and Trader King can be good, but you are always going to be stronger, always, if you just bring Morkur plus a caster that can do the exact same thing, slightly worse. Because then you're getting 4 Chaos Spawn, 2 Chaos Spawn units for free, like 2,000 free gold in your army, of a unit that's already pretty damn good. Yeah. So that's the thing. What do you think of giving runic golems to dwarves? I think it'd be cool. You might have to rework dwarves a little bit, because like with mass, they could be really oppressive, because they already have some of the toughest boxes to crack, but just imagine giving them like an armored beastie. So, sure. Will do. Alright. He's just asking to be messaged when his opponent is ready, no problem. What do you think about regular mutated ogres? Are you referring to dragon ogres of some sort, or which ogre are you referring to? You have to let me know. No matches have been missed. We are just going to get the stream started here. It's a little bit of a late start. I mispredicted the time when the players would make it to the top 4, which is what it is. So we're here just hanging out and shooting the shit, man. Some crazy times. I gotta like look into the policies on YouTube for like watching videos like on stream. It'd be kind of fun just like in situations like this to just shoot the shit with you guys and watch some videos. Best game on Flat Earth. Oh my god. Mutant Rat Ogres. Oh, you're talking about Mutant Rat Ogres. Not really. I'm not a fan. I like the ROR one because it has a really good, like, it has a better stat line and also does have that nice AoE ability. But generally, I think that Brood Horrors are just objectively better with how quick they are and like low center of gravity. They're harder to hit. They're just like annoying in general. That's just my 2 cents though. Some people might disagree, but I can't remember the last time I've seen like a Skaven main or someone like that even, you know, bother using such witchcraft. Yeah. Russian Prince says, so it's 1-0 for Satsuma at the moment, and it looks like the second game is going to take a long time due to skirmishing on both sides, and Void Lulz has a slight advantage, so it might be 1-1. Oh boy. Well, the thing is, Russian Prince, if you could check in on the top side of the bracket, we can just go up there because he is done up there, I'm pretty sure. We have Alfredino done up top, and then we have, yeah. We have the game with Hadri's and Gabo Slayer. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's happening right now. Oh, did they? Did they buff the mutant rat ogres? Yeah. Maybe I missed it. I don't know. Brood horrors just feel so much better. Dude, like 90 plus speed on like a monster like that is so annoying. It never generates. Like, that's so strong. Raphael, no, I did not play it. A Minesweeper stream? No. Oh. Yeah, this is my own tournament league, not Everchosen. Everchosen is a Creative Assembly official event. Granted, it was created way back in the day. We did create that back in the day, but it eventually became their event. Do you think Imrik is too expensive? Yeah, Imrik on a dragon is like a little overpriced. I mean, he's pretty strong though too, but like, yeah, dragons got nerfed with mass changes. They have trouble escaping now. But the problem with Imrik is like the other high elf lords are so good. You have freaking Ilariel who's like insane. You have Teclis who's insane. Like they're both really good, right? And then like you can bring Imrik on horse, where he's actually pretty strong. But then on that note, Tyrion on horse is just better, you know. So he doesn't really have that good of a spot. Because if you're gonna go for a big flying monstrous lord, typically I would recommend like Peklis, right? Like if you want that, Peklis is like so tanky and hard to kill. He's got Potion of Koroi. He has all those weird ward saves. Oh yeah, Garland Green a long time ago. Yeah, 100 time ago. A long time ago. What's your favorite faction to play in Warhammer 2? Probably Empire. I have the most fun playing Empire. Granted, I've been losing with them lately, but yeah, Empire is probably my favorite to play. Yeah, the good old Sons of Sigmar. Who's the most expensive LL? Ooh, that's tough. I'm trying to think off the top of my head if I know the answer to that. I'm thinking. Luther Harkin full kit is really expensive. Cetra full kit is pretty damn expensive. Like with all spells and all items, that's a tough question. I don't know off the top of my head. Definitely some dude just riding a monstrous lord and going ham. Yeah, we'll see. So something I was talking about. So currently one of the issues in multiplayer oftentimes can be the maps. The maps are pretty there's a lot of really crappy maps in multiplayer pools. Even in tournaments, we end up having to use maps that I think are highly suboptimal. So something I was thinking of doing is reaching out to some folks at Creative Assembly and seeing if they would be willing to have like a group of multiplayer folks or people in the community make like a bunch of cool maps using the map creator, right? Because there's currently tools for that. And then like we could review the maps and decide which ones are the best and send them. And what if like, wouldn't it be cool if Creative Assembly like during the next patch or whatever could then add those maps into the multiplayer pool and like maybe take out some really bad ones? I think that would be really, really cool. Like we make the maps. They don't have to do any of the work. They just have to add them to their pool. Which, how cool would that be? Wouldn't that be neat? Because then like, you know, we could even like make a video and like talk about it and be like, hey, like, let's do a map making event. Like send in your maps and we like review them and like send them in and like pick like 10 of them or something. I think that would be really, really cool. Because God, there's so many god awful maps. Like if I just scroll through the maps here, dude, I can just tell you which ones are bad. Something StarCraft did to make competitive maps better was do away with Blizzard maps. Yeah, you see, that's the thing, Schmandolf. Like I was thinking the same thing. Like we should just, because like I would just sit there and make some cool maps. Like, you know, no annoying terrain, like adequately sized, like no stupid freaking like mass forests that you can't even see the battles. Yeah. Because then we could open it up to everyone and like we could just like get the best ones and you can name them, of course. And yeah, wouldn't that be cool to have that kind of like a legacy there? Yeah. It worked for StarCraft, just saying. Android Poetry, you can use custom apps and lobbies. They're automatically downloaded. It's tricky. In my experience, it doesn't always auto-download for everyone. Some people do, some people don't. It's just like a weird thing. I'd rather just have it be an official map where they have it here and you can like see it. Wouldn't it be cool to have like a community logo or something? Yeah. Would be neat, but what's stopping you from doing it on your own without... So here's the thing. When you host the maps, like the players have to like all download them. And when you're running like an 80 plus person tournament, people have a hard enough time figuring out how to check in and get into lobbies. If you add that variable of maps, like, you know, having to download the right maps and, you know, compatibility issues, like you're going to have a lot of drama, dude. You're going to have a lot of drama. Yeah. If they just like would implement it into their system, it'd be way, way better. There is a map editor. There's already one in Total War Warhammer. You can make your own maps. I haven't really like delved in it, but it's actually pretty cool. Yeah, because otherwise it would be a little bit iffy. I agree. We're getting some real long games. I should have given them the smaller maps. We'll get started at the 40-minute mark. Don't you worry. Way it sounds good in theory, but I can tell you from someone who's organized tournaments both in Total War and in real life and sports, like that would not. It would be very hard to get everyone to do that. What are the worst maps for multiplayer? Like, there's like one-sided maps where like people start on like hills. Like, any of the Dark Elf maps are pretty god awful. Like this one right here. Like, if you look here, you can see there's like all this like terrain. So certain factions just get shit on, right? Because like they can't abuse the terrain in the same way like a faction with like mortars could, you know. So it's like it just immediately imbalances the game. It's horrible. Yeah. It gets good, Dimitri, but he kind of got overshadowed by Throt. Throt's just better, in my opinion. I would have like very loose like aesthetic terrain, but I wouldn't have terrain that could be abused by players. If there were going to be any terrain pieces, it would be like centralized so that both players could like contest it. But yeah, generally symmetrical maps that are balanced and like don't have like unfair advantages on either side. Like Oakenhammer and Galbaraz are really good examples of maps like that. You can have hills and ravines and like things like that, but it needs to be like symmetrical, you know? Yeah. Yeah, Andrew King, you saw that? I know, it was ridiculous. Okabe just sucks. Like, there's so many, like, probably like 80% of the maps are bad. Like, this map is god-awful. I hate this one. Oh, look at this shit. Like, it's so unfair. Like, yeah, most, like, what, like, all these little things, like, just, like, these maps just are not fair. Some of them, like, one player starts on a hill and the other player, like, starts, like, down in some shitty ravine. Like, they actually have those in the multiplayer pool. They actually do, which is crazy. Well, on the bright note, us starting a little bit later means that people aren't going to be missing the games. Glacial Lake is unfair too. So if you go to Glacial Lake, for example, one player starts next to this this rock, this like ravine here, and they can caddy corner their army up against it, which completely disallows your opponent from flanking you. Like it cuts off this whole space. So you could put like gun units next to this little pit, and then they just can't be touched by enemy flanks. Like, it's like, there's all sorts of, like, it really encourages, like, corner camping. Like, you could camp along the line of the wall here, and, like, only your opponent is forced into 2 choke points. So if you're, like, a Dawi army or, like, a gunline army, they're just, like, immediately at a disadvantage against you. So, Black Ark Landing sucks pretty bad. Yeah, there's some really bad maps. Yeah, really, really bad maps. Yeah, so we'll do some community maps for sure. I think I want to talk to someone. I'll try and talk to someone at CA first and get like they're like, okay, we'd be interested at least before we commit to the effort, because it can be a little bit tedious doing it, you know. Yeah, Glacial Lake is, I love Glacial Lake. I love small maps like that, but if Glacial Lake was just like a more open snowy field, you know, it would be better. Yeah. What's the best way to make maps interesting, creative but different? Probably more aesthetic decorations, more so than actual a terrain that affects the state of battle. And if you're going to do terrain, I think hills and ravines that are symmetrical are like cool. Like what you have on Sword of Torgald is very fair. You know, it's like a pit in the middle that both players can kind of fight over, contest. And if you don't want to go in the pit, you can go around it. It's a big enough map, right? So things like that. Yeah. We don't need new maps. We have Skilled. We have the dreaded Skilled. Oh, man. Oh, God. Bringing back nightmares, man. So we'll see who finishes between the Satsuma and the Gabo Slayer here. We'll see, or between Satsuma and Void Lulls, and then Gabo Slayer and Hadri's up on the top side of the bracket. Thanks again for joining today, guys. We can hang out, shoot the shit for a couple more minutes here, and we should be good. Yeah, Skilled is the map of the gods. That one is it's really funny because in the early days of Everchosen, when it was a less competitive format, like the first Everchosen was not competitive at all. Like you had like maybe like 2 players in there who would even have a chance in like of contending in modern day tournaments, right? But back then we used to like use maps that came with DLCs even if they were terrible. So we would like use like Skilled, and I remember we had a Skilled Everchosen match. I think it was like in the Vampire Coast one, and it had like Indie Pride against someone, or was it Indie Pride? Maybe it was Aerocrastic. It was just like this huge haggard like war of attrition. Oh my god. Yeah, Matt Orse, I 100% hear you. I would do my best to like make them interesting too. As long as the terrain doesn't give a distinct advantage to one player, like I think it's fine. Like Golden Monolith is a good example. That map is like kind of weird, but it's relatively playable. It has like a huge pillar in the middle. Like, you know, you could do stuff like that, which would be pretty neat. I was actually watching StarCraft last night, the GSL or whatever it's called, with Artosis and Tasteless. Man, I hadn't watched those guys in a long time, but they are great casters, dude. All right, we have the top side ready. So we will do Gobbo Slayer. All right, so I'm going to message him. Tag these guys. All right, it's time to party. ODM. Alfred. Let's do Alfred. I think he's Alfredino on here. Gobbo Slayer. All right, guys. The wait is almost over. Finally. We get Gobbo Slayer and then Alfredino in here. Got to change the nameplates and we'll get this party started. All right, all right, all right. Very cool. Pretty sure they're both my friends list, so we can invite them pretty easy. Gobbo Slayer. So Gobbo Slayer did fight the mighty Hadries and won 2-1 in a hotly contested series. Quite cool. I'm sure it was a great set of games, and Alfredino may need to add me to his friends list. Cool. Let's do it to it. They'll be here in just a moment. I don't know if anybody remember. Yeah, they were good too, for sure. The Tastosis of Total War Warhammer. Dude, those guys were great, man. I was like watching them. I'm like, man, their banter level is like, that's some next level shit. You can tell they've been working together forever. All right, very cool. Can you see lobby? All right, the Gobbo Slayer will be here in just a moment. And we're good. Hey, Lady Turin's here, dropping some of her new work. Make sure to check out that link over there on Teespring. Awesome stuff indeed. The lady has blessed the peasants with a powerful spell, known as a link. All right, so we got Gobbo Slayer here on the left-hand side. Let's get the nameplates, make sure they don't look ridiculous. Sometimes they can like pour over. Ah, look at that, that actually fit pretty well. I am very pleased with that. Right, awesome. We won't need to use army blockers. Looks like, yeah, it's really annoying too. Like things like having to add people to your like friends list is like, oh god. I think he's probably just Alfredino of the dreaded ODM clan. All right. His name is Cathayer Riot. That's pretty funny. Pretty sure he's already on my friends list. All right. Get this bad boy in here. And perfect. He's invited to the lobby. All right, guys, the wait is finally over. Let's do it to it. Oh, you guys want some Beastmen, huh? Oh boy. The Beast people, come. We'll do Galbaraz. Map set. Pick and ban away. Good luck, have fun. All right, so players are going to do their picks and bans. If only we got the Beastmen versus Skaven, that would certainly be fun. And yeah, Alfredino was the one who was in the top 4 last week. He had a really, really good series against Felcon, 2-1. He almost won it. It was a really, really good. He brought the Luminarch Huntsman build and like still almost like got it. It was a crazy good game. So we'll see if he can repeat that magic against the legendary Gobbo Slayer, and we'll see how this goes. We'll see how this goes. All right, 1 second. yeah, just getting this party started. Just a couple questions here. Have to officiate on something for one of the other matches. I know, Ben the Barman. I know. I see it. Yes, correct. They're going right there. All right, so sorry guys, just checking this rules inquiry here in the other match. I don't think he'll meme this time. I think he's out for blood. So it looks like it's going to be, we have the Coast ban Dwarves and High Elves, and then we get a Tomb Kings pick. So it's going to be Vampire Coast versus Tomb Kings. A pretty common matchup that you actually see, actually. Fairly normal. Mm-hmm. And perfect. Checking that out. So it is going to be Tomb Kings versus the Coast in the first series. On the bottom, Call Harmon awaits his opponent, which is fine. There is a... Okay. Perfect. So thank you to Hadries. He is going to help me officiate that while we get this stream going. Sorry about the awkward silences as we load into Galbaraz here. So yeah, Galbaraz is a pretty open field map, so we're probably going to see some heavy artillery. One of my favorite things to use against the Tomb Kings as Vampire Coast is actually the dreaded Queen Bess. It's like, it just brings such joy to have Queen Bess dropping her fat, hot payloads all over those skeleton archers that you often see. And Tomb Guard as well. There's a lot of good targets for old Bessie, so I think we could see this. And yeah. And I'm just going to update them one last time. Perfect. Just filling in Hadries here. Cool. So that's all taken care of. Now we can focus here onto the glorious battle at hand. So welcome, guys, to ECL season 6, man. We've been doing this shit for a while. And this is going to be qualifier number 2. This is the top 4, top side of the bracket. We have Gabo Slayer on the Vampire Coast facing off against the dreaded Alfredinho, who is going to be leading the forces of the Tomb Kings. So welcome again. And now if we take a look here at the Gabo Slayer. Sorry, I was just reading some comments there. Gabo Slayer just has a deckhand mob front line, pretty standard. Bombers are also quite good. Not as good as they used to be, but bombers against Tomb Guard and skeletons, anything with light armor, they can typically do pretty well. Double handguns in the back, and as far as his artillery core goes, he has a carronade and a single mortar up in the sky. Deck dropper bombers, again, really good at clearing light armor. Luther Harkin, and a bunch of scurvy dogs. So pretty similar to how I like to play this. I use Queen Bess and then like 2 cannons. You can use a mortar and carronades. It all works in a similar fashion. So here for the Tomb Kings army, it's going to be Nehekar Horsemen on the flanks, a very good pressure tool. They dominate the doggos in combat, and they can also deal with deckhand mobs, and really, really durable for their price point. Nehekar Horsemen, definitely very obnoxious to deal with. Aside from that, here in the front line, we got Skeleton Warriors, and looks like some Ushabti Grapos backed by Ushabti, so a very well-balanced build. Also, Setcher the Imperishable on his chariot is now actually fixed. So he is a living character once again. But what's really good about Settra is that Cyrene spam is very common here. A lot of Coast players, including myself, like to bring 2 to 4 Cyrenes in this matchup. And Settra is a mobile piece of magic damage that can really cause a ton of disruption. So yeah, we'll see how he does. He's really weak to Luther Harkin. That's probably one of the biggest problems for him, is that Luther can really, really dominate him in combat. But generally speaking, you know, he's got the moves, man. Also, he's got Ushapti Greypost to kind of help him out. A couple carrying up in the sky that can occupy Luther Harkin for a little time. So we will see how it goes. So the first mortar shot's actually making contact, hitting those skeleton warriors. The Ushapti Greyposts are probably going to be sitting on Luther Harkin the entire game. That's what I would probably do. There's nothing else really in this army that's super worth shooting. Maybe the Carronade, because killing the Carronade takes away the only thing that can really deal with the Greyposts. It also gets rid of the pressure on etc. But I think with his Nehekar Horseman pressure on the flanks, he should be able to cause some pretty good disruption. No, Nehekar Horsemen are actually pretty good in combat. They have good combat stats, 28, 32, and 38 weapon strength. They're like really solid in sustained combat, and they're really cheap too. I think that Nehekar Horsemen are actually probably one of the best units on the roster. So right here, Scurvy Dog's going to be taking the fight. Now, normally they would lose this head-to-head pretty badly. It looks like Alfredino's going to pull back, but the Scurvy Dogs can kind of chase them. He probably should have just charged there because now he's giving free capital to his opponent. But again, he's really wary of the bombers, doesn't want to be taking that free damage. I understand it. He should be able to pull back to the skeletons right here, but maybe this one group should commit. I don't know, it's hard to say. Now the Tomb King's front line is piling in, getting hit with bombers, but the bombers are hitting the Ushapti models. The Ushapti models do have really, really high armor, so they'll be okay there. But the handguns in the secondary line really are going to be the ones making them pay the troll toll. And you can see the handguns here for the Gabo Slayer are pushing in and really pounding those Ushapti down pretty good, actually. Huge value so far. Solid play. And on the flank, masterful play here by Gabo Slayer, knowing that the combination of the Scurvy Dogs plus the deck bombers, deck dropper bombers, deck bombers make sense, is going to be super efficient. So he actually forces back the Nehekar Horseman, almost takes him out outright, which is very solid. In the meantime, Luther Harkin trying to peel off the Carrion. The Carrion, of course, doing some nice harass against the deck droppers. Always the risk in that matchup. And the Scurvy Dogs here are being massacred by the Nehekar Horsemen. However, there are some halberds nearby. If the halberds can pile in, it can certainly change the paradigm of that duel. Right here, a little bit of a tough call here for the coast. You can see the Vampire Fleet Captain is going to get a juicy info, but not before Cetra does a ton of damage. So Cetra actually came in, ran over this caster, and did some really solid damage for sure. And the Zombie Pirate handgun mobs here are also taking quite a bit of damage. Cetra, like I said, very good here. And for a Chariot character, Cetra actually can duel pretty well. Most Chariot characters have really bad combat stats, but Cetra the Imperishable can actually do some good work for sure. So running down this Vampire Fleet Captain, but this is where the Troll Toll could be paid. Ushapti Summon's going to be coming in here, which is really nice. It actually will probably trap Luther Harkin in. It looks like it's going to be right on top of him. Nice pistol summon also by Gabo Slayer, giving a little bit of supporting fire into this blob fight. But now the Ushapti Summon, get out of here, you stupid icon. I got to turn those things off. But the Ushapti Summon is here. It like trapped up Cetra. It's kind of bogged down this Fleet Captain and did allow, or excuse me, bogged down Luther and allowed Cetra to escape there. So as far as the rest of the battle goes, Mortar's still shooting. It looks like the Carronade is still online, so all the artillery is in good shape. I think the Vampire Tomb Kings probably want to shut that down here. They have some Nehekar Horsemen here. I think all their Ushapti actually kind of got crumped by the handgun fire. And now we do have the Duel of Duels. Cetra the Imperishable, the Dejaf's Cursed Blades makes him a pretty scary anti-large duelist, actually. He's at 588 right now with a bonus for large and fire damage. And Luther, of course, on the Regenerating Terror Goose here is going to be weak to fire. So very nice game so far between these two players. Very evenly matched. A lot of it, of course, is going to come down to the duel between Cetra and Luther. If Luther can't escape here or maybe gets the upper hand, you know, on Cetra, you know, that'll really determine probably the outcome of the game here. On the flanks, we have some handgun mobs, which are now shut down by skeleton warriors, and the Tomb Kings are getting through the front line. Some 11 Ushapti, who are at like 20% HP, but only have lost one model, are still going to be surging back here to shut down the artillery. And Gabo Slayer does have some halberds, but he's running a little bit bare bones on assets here in the back line to protect his artillery. And with that artillery going down, I think that Alfredino will probably start to pull ahead in this game. He still also has two Ushapti Greyposts, both of which are very healthy on ammunition. And you can also see that the Ushapti Greyposts are, yeah, man, that's going to be really tough. Luther's going to have to constantly be juking and just taking those huge shafts right to the face. Those things hit hard. 124 weapon strength, and I believe that's what it was on the bows. Yeah, 124 with really good AP values. And Cetra's not, he ain't afraid of him, man. Starts, even if, like, you know, Luther is to hunt Cetra at this point, the fact that the great bows are still functional is a big problem. That's one of the reasons why you do often see Sirens in this matchup, is to, like, chase down the great bows. But again, Cetra would be a big problem for those as well. So a little bit of give and take. Cursed Blade's going down once again, going to be triggering the passive for the Lore of Nehekara, and you can see here he is able to lead to the crumbling of those units. And now going after the Carronade, certainly a smart choice. The Carronade is one of the few assets here on the battlefield outside of Luther Harkin that can hurt him. So he's going to be ramming that bad boy, probably leading to its leadership going negative here, and it should be crumbling soon-ish. Ushapti Greypo doing a good job. Balance of power is starting to become a little bit Tomb King favored here in this situation. And now they're going to be rotating about, and the Nehekar horsemen are going to be slamming into the back of the mortars, as well as the deckhand mob polearms. These bad boys crumbling as well, and you can see that Cetra the Imperishable going to be crumbling down that old carronade. Down it goes, and you can see with that, the balance of power really ebbing heavily into the favor of the Tomb Kings here. The two Great Bows being alive at this stage is a huge, boon here for the Tomb Kings, right? They don't have to chase. They don't have to deal with Luther sitting in the sky and shooting with a pistol. They can be the ones who knock. They're the Walter Whites in the situation. I'm the one who knocks. And they're going to be, making sure that Luther stays in check. And good juking, though, by Gobbo Slayer. He's going back and forth, dodging many of those shots, which is very smart. But I don't know if it's going to be enough. I think his army's just too bare bones. He's got some deckhand mob polearms here, but there's still a fair amount of Tomb King's infantry. 76 skeletons here. 94 skeletons here and 64 right here. I'm surprised I didn't hit the number 69 right there, but we can't win all the time, guys. We have to take some L's from time to time. So the Great Bow's going into the Vampire Fleet Captain. Looks like they should probably still be shooting Luther. He's sitting still. He's going to be getting a breath attack, it looks like. Luther does have a lot of ammo left too. Gobbo Slayer could potentially goon out Cetra and have some sort of a comeback. And the ammunition is starting to get a little bit low for the Ushabti, but even in combat, those Ushabti are not going to be easy to deal with. And it looks like Cetra is opting to pop in combat. I think that Alfredino probably wants to pull a skeleton over here. Nice breath attack there by Gobbo Slayer, but when he does pause for that breath attack right there, Anna says, Turin is oblivious to flirting, only Sigmar. That is not true. That is not true. Only my toy soldiers, as she would say. Luther Harkin, still getting blasted right in the face. Cetra is now going to be trying to run over that Vampire Fleet Captain while the Great Bows continue to really stretch the micro here of the Gobbo Slayer. Granted, he doesn't really have much else he has to micro, so just juking back and forth here is really smart. Because obviously he's obeying the attacking rule here with the halberds and the zombies on the ground, right? So just waste the ammo of the Great Bows. And, from there, Luther does have some room before his healing cap kicks into play. So maybe Luther could come in and, dominate Cetra in combat. And who knows how many summons Gobbo Slayer has left? Who knows? If he's banking a couple in the back pocket, that could actually be really damn strong. And I think this is a smart play here. Save the ammunition, let Gobbo Slayer kind of juke like this, and then just let Cetra go ham here in this battle, right? He needs to get some support, though. Yeah, his skeleton's a little bit bare bones. Nehekar horsemen should probably push in as well. Could this be the dreaded comeback? Luther Harkin might also have some breath attacks, too. Like a breath attack on Cetra when he's stuck in this formation would be really, really strong. And now the Great Bows are shooting once again. So the one unit of Great Bows that's a little bit out of ammunition here is going to continue shooting. But yeah, this is really scary actually here for Alfred. Oh god, and the balance of power creeps back towards the middle. That's all it takes, man. Negative 23. What an amazing comeback here by the Gobbo King. The juking of the gods. Not Gobbo King, Gobbo Slayer. It's so funny. It's the Gobbo Slayer. But when he first started playing on my channel, everybody thought he was Gobbo King. I even played a best of 3 against him a couple months ago, and everybody's like, oh, you're battling Gobbo King. I'm like, no, it's Gobbo Slayer. He's the slayer of Gobbos. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's a really, really close game. Cetra is down now, and the Ushabti Great Bows are running a little bit bare on ammo. These ones probably should pile in and start, karate chopping the zombies. And the fact that Gobbo Slayer is saving summons here is so good. That is so good. Oh my god, and more summons. That is just such value city. These Great Bows are going to have to be the hardest of carries. The hardest of carries, because these summons from the Gobbo Slayer have been really good. And that means he wasn't using them in the early game, and he continues to juke, which is just masterful. I know the Luther Harkin, he's... You've heard of him for sure, the Pirate King, juking about. I really thought this game was over, but when Cetra ate that breath attack right to the face, that was pretty painful for sure. Pretty painful. Great Bows are just repositioning right now, just kind of looking and scouting out their prospects. This game is still on, for sure. It's still a close one. The fact that these Ushabti are still in decent shape, they can probably, once these summons disappear, I would imagine that Gobbo Slayer might be out of summons here. It's hard to say. I've seen quite a few this game, and now the Ushabti are piling in to kill that character. And the thing is, Luther is going to have to bump and grind too with the Great Bows, and now these zombie summons are going to be wearing out here in about 20 seconds, give or take. I used to know the times of every single one, but I've kind of forgotten here. I've fallen by the wayside. So these Great Bows maintaining good separation. They're waiting for Luther Harkin to land, and now the Vampire Fleet Captain is kind of on death's bed here. Is there going to be another summon? If there's another summon, that's probably GG. Probably want to save the ammo, although I guess ripping a couple shots at this close quarters, yeah, he's able to hit Luther, I think, once or twice. Vampire Fleet Captain's at 300, and now Luther's going to be piling in. Zombies will be disappearing here right now. So they're gone. The Vampire Caster is going to be dying probably in a moment. And can the Ushabti kill Luther Harkin? That really is the question. What an awesome way to start this here. This is a very, very close fight. You can see the Vampire... Oh my god, if there's like a summon or anything like that, Yeah, and the other Ushopti are now piling in. The ones with the bows are pulling back. They've been hornswoggled, but Luther is taking some damage, not much. The thing about Ushopti guys, especially great bows, they have incredibly low melee attack, but they're really dependent on their bows, obviously. And the other ones have a bonus for infantry, but yeah, man. Oh, this is so close. He's at 1,000 HP right now. This bounce power is like dead even. So you can see Alfredino is trying to pull those bows back and shoot, but like one of them keeps getting like stuck in there, which is like screwing up the AI of all of them, which has to be really frustrating. So he pins in Luther with these ones. Oh, he's gonna pull it back. I think he's gonna pull it back. Is he charging in? Oh man, that must be so annoying. I think one of his great bows is like stuck on top of the other one, so they're not like shooting. God, I would be so triggered if I were Alfred right now by that. And okay, it gets knocked away. So Luther might have inadvertently saved the Tomb Kings here, and he's now actually, the banner rules have changed a little bit. He's allowed to move to a different target. He just can't cycle charge the same one. So moving over there is the correct play here for the Gobbo Slayer. But in the end, the Great Bows are going to pull it out. Oh my God, what a barn burner of a game that was. That was some serious shit. But in the end, the Tomb Kings pull out the victory. Although Gobbo Slayer almost pulled that one back, guys. Almost got it. Well played indeed. So here for Luther, 2,600 value. Other value trains here in the army. The handgun mobs did okay. 700, 500. Bombers did okay. Nothing was really that big except Luther. Luther went pretty apeshit that game and almost carried it. And Cetra, of course, 1,900 value. He kind of got goon. Ushopti Great Bows were the biggest MVPs. 2,000 there, 2,200 here. And the basic Ushopti did good too. It was a solid match, man. Very well played to those two players. Awesome dudes, awesome players. And GG, well played. That was a really, really good map. So now we'll do Eschen for our next map. And that's going to be one game for Alfredino, which is all good. And yeah, we're all set. So bottom side of the bracket's still going. They must be in some ferocious battles down there. I think there was a rule break of some sort. So thankfully the great Hadries has helped me to officiate that. Appreciate you, Hadries. So now Alfredino's going to go... He's going Skaven, and he's banning Tomb Kings and Wood Elves. Interesting. I would expect a Vampire count ban. I feel like Vampires are better against Skaven than Tomb Kings are, but, you know, it all comes down to play preference, too. Like, he might be really practiced against Vampire counts, so... Yeah, and maybe he knows what Gobbo Slayer likes to play. Yes. Lady Turin here in chat, my smoking hot wife, dropping some links to her awesome Vampire Coast art. Make sure to check that out over on the eBay. I know, that was an insane game one, wasn't it? Yeah, what a great way to start the day. Anticity is not playing today, no. He probably had some other stuff going on. I'm sure we'll see the master himself, Anticity, the Dreadlord of Coast, appearing in some of these ECLs. We're only on the second week, so there's still 6 weeks to qualify, so, you know, life will be good. Hey, Turin, what's up with Queek? I never see him being used. So Queek is only good against dwarves. He is still decent by Footlord standards, but he's really only good against dwarves. Against, like, the other Skaven lords are so goddamn powerful that he gets overshadowed. Like, as far as Footlords go, he's pretty good. He has, like, a nice debuff, and it, like, hits really hard and consistently with good combat stats, but unfortunately, the other Skaven lords are just so good that you almost never see him. Yeah. Indeed. Indeed, indeed. Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame. So, oh, Alfredino says, before I forget, I'll want to make an advertisement to the Ladder of Anticity. Don't worry, I'll take care of that for you. So, if you guys, Anticity runs a Discord as well, which is an awesome, another awesome place to get multiplayer games in. So within Anticity's Discord, I believe he has like a programming background. He created a bot that basically created his own ladder with like ELO and different things like that. And you can go into there and you can actually queue in his Discord. It'll find you an opponent of equal or similar rating, and you can get like a best of 3. It's really, really nice for tournament practice. So if you guys are looking to, I don't want to give a link to his Discord without like his permission, but if you guys want to join my Discord, there's like resources with which you can join his in there, which I'm sure is fine. So let me go ahead and give you guys a link to my Discord. So if you guys are looking to find your way, you can message him about it. And yeah, it's a really, really cool system. It's a great place to practice too. So yeah, we're ready. Let's load in. Let's have some fun. Wait, other Skaven Lords? Turin, are you saying that Tretch Craventail's... No, Tretch is worse than Queek. Queek is way better than Tretch. Tretch is just an absolute piece of shit. Yeah. Absolutely terrible. Tretch you only see you only see occasionally. The Tretch is a true meme lord. Yeah, Sneckish is just so good. Sneckish is just better than Queek. Yeah, it's unfortunate. The best generic lord? Ooh, that's a good question. I'd have to think about that one. Probably like Supreme Sorceresses or Spell Singers, like from a competitive cost effectiveness standpoint. Yeah. All right, very cool. And looks like we're all set. Scoreboards are updated. And now, guys, here we are. Let's take a look. So we did end up getting a Vampire Count pick, which was certainly to be expected. Vampire Counts have always been very strong in Skaven, and even with new Skaven tools, I still feel it's slightly Skaven favored. Although I played against Anticity the other day. We were playing at a best of 5, and he had a really, really cool Warp Fire Thrower build, which I thought was super awesome. Yeah, he's a really nice guy too, man. Just like definitely pillar of the community kind of guy. So here for the zombie army. For the undead, we got a White King, we got a Corpse Cart Necromancer, and a Strigoi Vampire Lord, which is cool because you basically get double the summons. You get a Crypt Ghoul summon, and on top of that, you get a zombie summon. So it really does allow you quite a bit of summons, which are amazing against Skaven. Front line's going to be Chaff, backed up by just Black Knights into the Sunset, a couple Crypt Ghouls, and some Dogs as well. This is good. It's a wide build. It's got a ton of pressure. Certainly going to be very, very tough to stop. Now, if we take a look here at the Skaven army, it's going to be one of the two options. So basically you can go with like a weapons team kind of build. You can do a monster mash. This is kind of more of a monster mash. Skaven Slaves, Warp Grinders, Hell Pit Abomination, Plague Furnace, Assassin, and the Lord is going to be Throt the Unclean on a Brood Horror. So there's Remoldering, there's Ogres. Warp Grinders are actually really good against like Black Knight type units. They can really bump and grind them. And the Poison Wind Globes can also do quite well. It's a very tight build. And obviously Alfredinho did not ban Vampire Count, so he had to see this coming, and we'll see how he does. I'm really curious to see how he performs here. So should be quite a bit of fun, man. Should be quite a bit of fun. So let's get this party started. Let's have some fun. Let's do it to it. Will the Gobbo Slayer get back on the board, or will Alfred advance to the grand finals? Where he'll be facing the winner of, on the bottom side of the bracket, we have Call Harmon facing off against Vicious Satsuma. So Vicious Satsuma, of course, is one of the reigning champs of the single faction tournament, which we've been starting here on the channel. So he's won with his greenskins twice. So I'm sure we'll be seeing some very, very scary wah. Let us know in chat, guys. Who are you rooting for? The Skaven or the Vampire Counts? Good luck, have fun. No need to wait for old me. No need to wait. Yeah, Misha, for sure. To teach me the ways of technology. I'm a caveman. Good luck, have fun. Players are ready. There's a Karstein spy in chat. Why is that? You guys want a water bottle? Oh, okay. Some Hydro homies. That would actually be pretty funny. All right, so here comes Throt the Unclean and the Ogre Legion. Not corner camping. This is a valiant Skaven army, and I appreciate this. I like that he's moving forward with purpose. So often you see one of the more annoying ways to abuse the attacking rule, basically, is to move your army at the slowest speed. If you have like skirmishers, just to like, oh my god, it can be so annoying with like undead and things like that. Ben the Barman wants Tretch to win, of course. A little bit of bias there, I suspect, but that's fair play. Old me. Yeah. My old bones ache. You guys remember the Turin Chieftain from Warcraft 3? When you click on him, he's like, my old bones ache. That guy was pretty cool. Can you vote for a draw? I don't know if you can, Harmon. Hard to say. Throt the Unclean and the Ogre is going to be going to Pound Town here on some of the zombies, and then we'll immediately be pulling back. Ogre should be able to push through zombies, although with the new mass changes, he might actually lose an Ogre to this. We'll see. Now it looks like all those rat people are able to escape quite happily as they're now hunted by the Strigoi Vampire Lord. But Throt's going to be coming in, and Throt is so fast, man, so furious, and he actually takes a pretty big hit from the Strigoi Vampire Lord, so pretty fortunate there for is this the Macklemore one? Yeah, this is the one that's wearing the thrift shop coat. And now Throt the Unclean going to be pulling back as a single unit of Blood Knights, so they're not all Black Knights. It looks like there was 3 Black Knights and 1 Blood Knight just to give some really, really hard punch, and, you know, Blood Knights can be good. If you're able to hammer the Skaven army and just get rid of the chaff, the Blood Knights can charge in and kill the big monsters, no problem. Like, a Blood Knight in head-to-head combat against Throt, that would be an absolute massacre. Throt would be flipped upside down, put in the trash can, and he would certainly not be having fun. So Throt doing a little bit of poke and harass. Both players jockeying for position here, while the Vampire Counts now going to be getting the Black Knights and preparing to probably surround this flank here. Now it looks like they're coming in to try and butter that sweet bread. Globadier is going to be super efficient against skeletons, but of course they do friendly fire. A lot of people kind of forget that fact. Now, will the Warp Grinder play go off here? The dogs are being sent in. Dogs are going to feast on the Skaven slaves, and this is a good play here by Gobbo Slayer, because if the Alfred uses the Warp Grinders on the dogs, he's not going to have it for the Black Knights, which can then get really aggressive here. So you can see that Alfred is holding on to the Warp Grinders. Now in the front, Plague Furnace dropping some Plague Monk summons, and it looks like the globes have started to fire here. Black Knights are sent in, but Gobbo Slayer, not Gobbo Slayer, Alfredino does get the Warp Quake. So the Warp Quake and the Seismic Snare, able to get the dogs and the Black Knights. That's like the dream situation, right? Because now the globes can turn and shoot, potentially wear those guys down, and live long and prosper. On the other side, a couple Black Knights are sitting idle. I would imagine they will be coming in soon. Scab's Graith being used by the White Kings on top of the Council Guard, which was good. Did some decent HP damage. And the Blood Knights are kind of just waiting. Very predatory here on the flanks, although honestly, probably charging that Hellpit Abomination might not be bad. It's very close to the edge. And yeah, you can see he's going to go for that now. And what you would want to do is get the Strigoi Lord and like maybe like rear charge it while summoning ghouls on top of the Globadiers to shut down counterplay. Yeah, this is actually really, really strong here for Gobbo Slayer. He's able to get on the Hellpit, which does have the fluid injection. And, oh, it's getting remoldered too. That is a shit ton of healing. And the Blood Knights are getting hammered pretty good. Probably needed to shut down the Globadiers before he did that dive there, because now he's taking a ton of volleys right in the face. As far as the rest of the battle goes, though, Black Knights just, chasing shit down here. And you can see the Black Knights here in the back are going to be, really crunching the Globadiers into that tight position. But Skaven do actually have a Mortis Engine here. And I don't know if the Vampires do. I don't think there's any Mortis Engine effect for them. And the Blood Knight's really getting hammered here, which I think is going to be giving Alfred a pretty big advantage. Losing the Blood Knights there relatively early here in the game. And the 3.5 minute mark, 4 minute mark is going to be a pretty painful loss. Also in open field, we do have some Globadiers just kind of shooting freely. These Black Knights, or another unit of Black Knights, needs to shut these down. That's a really big power piece for Skaven, which is destroying all of the chaff and all of those different units. Now, the Strigoi Vampire Lord lost the Blood Knights, so the Blood Knights are completely gone. It looks like there are some Cryptors fighting in there. I would imagine he is going to be pulling up in the sky here and maybe preparing some breath attacks, but yeah, he really needs to get these globes. The Black Knights are actually slamming into the center mass of this formation, and then they get caught in a Warp Quake. But it looks like, oh, okay, just the Warp Quake, so not the Seismic Snare. And Gobbo Slayer does adjust outward and then shuts down the Globadiers, which should mean their demise. But the Vampire army is looking kind of bare bones. Not too much chaff left. I guess we have a couple zombies and skeletons lurking about. But what's really cool about the build here of Gobbo Slayer 2 is that he has a lot of summons. He's got the Necromancer on the Corpse Cart. He's got the Ghoul summons. So theoretically, he should be able to drop a lot of summons to really give him a long, sustainable summoning plan to make sure he can cycle charge and do all that sort of good stuff. So here the Necromancer sitting amongst the Globadiers and just beating it with his Haggard Cane. And really nice breath attack coming in there from the Strigoi Vampire Lord. And he needs to capitalize on this for sure and kill that thing Hellpit Abomination, which has just been an absolute terror this entire game. Hasn't been able to get it down. Oh, Throth the Unclean's coming for that Necromancer's booty, though, and he's probably going to get it. That Necromancer's in big trouble. He is very slow. Currently, when poisoned, his speed is 18. He's also a large entity, which means Throth with Creature Killer would get the bonus for its large, but it looks like Creature Killer is inactive. Little Scorch going down from the Skaven. Black Knights, of course, still hammering into those globes. And where is the Strigoi Vampire Lord going to be going? This is a really close game. Really close, actually. Despite some really nice picks on the Globadiers, it looks like Gobbo Slayer has scrapped enough to get back in this game here. And we got Skeleton Warriors, a White King, and I don't know what the summoning situation is. That's really going to be the deciding factor, because without chaff fighting, the Vampires aren't really going to be able to do a whole lot. So is there going to be a breath attack here? Hard to say. These Black Knights able to clean up those Globadiers certainly feels pretty good. I would imagine now they'll just do their best to clean up anything on the outskirts of the battlefield. And the Strigoi Vampire Lord does land in a very precarious situation. He lands amongst the Rat Ogres and also some Warp Grinders. He could potentially get snared here into a bad situation. It looks like a zombie or skeleton summon actually went down. Oh no, the dreaded tactical reserves! I wasn't looking, but apparently he forgot about these Fellbats the entire game, but now they are here. They're out of bubblegum. They're here to kick ass, and the Fellbats are going to be coming in, and yeah, that's actually a big difference. I mean, at least he brought them, right? I mean, they can chase off the Warp Grinders. Just imagine having had these Fellbats earlier. I felt like a little something was missing based on what I saw, but I was just so hyper-focused here that I missed it. But those Fellbats are back, man, and that gives some pretty good chase. If you could break any of these big threats, that's really good. But man, oh man, this army is looking very bare here. Just a couple zombies fighting. Fellbats, of course, chasing down the Warp Grinders. The tactical bat reserves, as I like to call it. Never a mistake. Nice breath attack. Gets a little bit of health off that Hell Pit. Looks like the Strigoi Lord's going to be going in again to try and fight with that White King, which is certainly smart. Necromancer probably needs to blow his load here before things get worse. And it looks like there's going to be a summon, and look at that! Bit of a mass rout from the Skaven. The Skaven slaves and other troops are running for the hills, but he can't break that thing. The thing with the fluid injection hits like an absolute linebacker too with 76 melee attack. Oh, but this might be an opportunity to turn and get it. Looks like the vampires will turn around and fight the thing, because without the thing, I think there might be a thing here for the vampires. We will see. I just felt like saying thing many times, but the Fellbats chasing down those bad boys. The other ones probably could honestly just tie up some rat ogres and buy some time here. I don't know about the summons. The thing is pretty close to death. Oh god, that hurts so bad. Oh, got shot back up to 3,000 HP. Of course, Helped Abominations do have the too horrible to die trait. Oh no, not like this. Don't you dare disconnect. Don't you dare disconnect. Oh, don't do it. Oh, it looks like that was maybe my internet kind of flickering for a hot second there. Looks like it's stable. Okay, we're good. That would have been my fault. That would have been my fault. So yes, the thing is healed up pretty healthy. I don't know if the vampires have enough to stop it now. I mean, they do have the Fellbats coming back in, which does give some rear charges and other penalties they can apply, but the Necromancer's going down. The Strigoi Vampire Lord, despite getting a free kind of regrowth on himself, which is one of the reasons why he's so damn good, he's has his work cut out for him, because, like, honestly, the vampires probably could have came back if they killed the thing there, but now that it's just regenerating with a full heart on here, I don't know if it's going to be able to do it, man. It's going to be a tall order. He's pulling back up in the sky. Is he going to go after the Plague Priest and kind of change his targets? It looks like it is the case for now. I guess a little bit discouraging when you work on the thing and you just can't kill it. Ooh, good Scab Scrape, though. Nice one. Tears right through the Skaven slaves and those chaff units, which certainly helps the vampires. It looks like the little White King here was able to get some healing somehow. And the Plague Furnace taking some damage. The tactical reserves are now being brought back in, and those Fellbats really will help quite a bit here. Rat Ogres, of course, don't have the best leadership. They've been jokingly called Rat Ogres for quite some time, and Macklemore is still doing his best to take these Skaven to the thrift shop, but he's met some very stiff resistance here in the form of this thing, Helped Abomination, which currently is rocking an insane amount of leadership. And the fluid injection is active, and the White King on the ground is dying, and it looks like that is going to be a 2-0 victory here for Alfred, but both games were very, very hotly contested. I do firmly believe it's a very hard matchup for the old Skaven, but, you know, they did it, man. They did it. It's a good matchup for vampire counts. Yeah, I agree. But nonetheless, it's not like so bad that it's like super one-sided, you know. It was a good match. Both players played well. I think if he hadn't forgot the Fellbats, it could have been a different game. They could have chased things off. The Black Knights could have been doing other things. Would have been very helpful for sure. But in the end, it was Macklemore got 3,100 value there. Throt, of course, 2,000. What else in the army? White King got 1,000. Blood Knights. The Blood Knight charge was rough. That was probably a big turning point. I think you got to be more conservative with them. Like pull back, get out as soon as you charge in. I liked the charge initially, but they kind of overstayed their welcome and paid the troll toll. Globadiers, man, almost 2,000 value. Granted, it does include friendly fire. 815 here, and the thing got 2,200 as well. So yeah, it was a great game. Very well played to Gobbo Slayer. He's an awesome player. So is Alfred, and it was a really, really good series between these two. So in the end, let's go ahead and update the cards here and do it to it. All right, looks good. Well played. Not yet, Alfred. We gotta do the other side. All right. So now let's go ahead and invite the Satsuma and call Harmon. Let's do it to it. Invite to lobby and get Mr. Harmon in here. He asked to be messaged when his time comes. Perfect. So he should be back here in just a second, and we'll get this going. And we'll pick some new maps. We'll update the nameplates. Very, very well played there. The Plague Priest, I didn't get a chance to check it. I think it was like, actually, maybe I did. I think it was like 1,200 or something. It's more about the summons with the Plague Priest. Yeah, but it's really good at mortis engineering down like the blobs and all that sort of good stuff. Cool. Very good. Go make some coffee, Alfredino. You've earned it. Some solid games from you, man. We'll see you back soon. We'll see you back soon. And Satsuma. All right, all right, all right. It's we got some donations coming in from Ziggy Williamson. Thanks for the nice lazy Saturday afternoon entertainment. You're very welcome. More to come. More to come indeed. Toss a coin to your streamer. Major Moolah, thank you. Appreciate that. We're going to keep going strong. We have another best of 3 followed by a best of 5. And now we have both of these fine gentlemen in here. So he is... Okay, I just want to make sure I spell his name right. So with 2 A's on both ends. And then we have Satsuma on the other side. Put Satsuma for short. And let's reset the scores. And update that bad boy. Oh, it's magic. The power of technology. Looks good. And let's see what they do. All right, so for the first map, we will do the... let's go ahead and do one of the Carracks. So we'll do like Carrack Asgul or something. Carrack Buffdar is a good one, I think. Yeah, Carrack Buffdar is good. All right, map set. So it'll be interesting to see. We obviously know Satsuma is a huge greenskin player, so I'm sure we'll see some greenskins at least one out of these games here in the series. I don't know if I've seen too much of Carl Harmon's play. Very excited, though. He's had a very amazing run in today's tournament. And, yeah, I think I've seen him playing quite a bit in the ladder that Anticity created, which is very cool. Clearly breeding some very strong champions there. Streamlabs or OBS. I use open broadcast software to stream my all this stuff and record my videos and whatnot. But I use Streamlabs as well for to monitor, you know, activity and things like that. Yeah, I use basic OBS though. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a simpleton. Honestly, if you're asking me for tech advice, like you're probably asking in the wrong place. If you want like to know about like new software and like what to use, definitely talk to Italian Spartacus. He's like really up on that. He knows how to build computers. I'm like a potato. Like if you asked me to build a computer, I would be like a chimp that was given like a hammer. I would just be like beating it and hoping it would start. Yeah. Okay, so Harmon is going to go Lizardmen, and he's banning Vampire Coast and Dwarves. Pretty solid bans there. And now we'll see what the Vicious Satsuma brings. Ooh, a Skaven. All right, we got Skaven versus Lizards. This is fun. Certainly slightly Skaven favored, but not so much that a good Lizardman main, which it appears Mr. Harmon might be, can deal with. So we'll see. We will see. What is the gif with the guy petting the dog? Yeah, it's from The Room. It's like a 90s cult classic movie. Yeah. Yeah. So we will see. Not Hadri says the old name was Purple Haze. He's been around for a while. Oh, okay, got it. Okay. So maybe I just didn't. Yeah, okay. That other name sounds more familiar. Thank you, Hadris. What matchup? Wurzag is good in a fair amount of matchups, Mr. Pig, Jason. The thing is, he's kind of become less meta. He's really powerful. Bonewood Staff is probably one of the best items in the whole game. But the problem with Wurzag is super low melee defense, very immobile even on his pig, and super easy to snipe. So any matchup where you don't have to worry about your lord being gooned and you're like the aggressor is good. I wouldn't bring Wurzag in matchups where you're expecting Lore of Death because consistent Spirit Leeches and any Focus Fire just like knocks him over, and he's expensive. So in order to use Wurzag, probably matchups where you're not worried about like your lord like getting gooned and hunted by like flying monsters and like Spirit Leech and a range snipe in general. But he's still good. Wurzag is still a solid contender of a lord. I see him used in tournaments quite a bit, but he's kind of become less popular because he's a little risky in that he's your caster and he's super expensive all in one. And squishy also. Yeah, like a single Manticore summon, Hadri's raises a great point, can just like knock him off the board, and that like feels really bad. Like you have to work so hard to survive it. Oftentimes you'll have to use your own effigy of the Git to get rid of him, like to save him, which sucks. Yeah. Sashimi Nissan says the trick to building computers is using the hammer to beat in the graphics card. You would do great. Dude, I'm such a potato when it comes to technology. It's partially because my crippled old hands, like I'm like that kind of stuff, like building and screwing things in is like annoying for me. So, although maybe in the next 5 years it'll get better, who knows? But yeah. Hey, just use net on Manti Summon. I know, it sucks though. So he banned Coast and Dwarfs here for his Lizards, and the counterpick for Satsuma was Skaven. So now we have Skaven versus Lizards, a classic Warhammer 2 duel. Of course, they fight in the cinematics, and yeah, should be fun, man. Tomb Kings are not rich on nutrients. No, probably not. Let us know in chat, guys, who you're rooting for. You rooting for Carl Harmon, or are you rooting for the dreaded Vicious Satsuma? Of course, he's the Dark Lord of Greenskins. If we don't see Greenskins in the next game, I'll be very surprised. He's probably saving them to try and be his closer. It's called percussive maintenance, is it? Okay. Good to know. It's an orky way to do it. If I believe the computer works and I put enough Y energy into it, it's just going to turn on and work. That's the recipe for success there. Yeah, Azag's still good. He's a good sniper. He's like mobile, has poison. I think he has poison, spirit leech. Like he's got some good items too. Honestly, Skarsnik and Grom the Paunch are probably my favorite lords and greenskins. Granted, I'm a little bit out of practice with them, but Grom the Paunch is hands down my favorite. Because, like, you don't have to worry about being sniped. He's super hard to snipe with the Lucky Banner healing and his HP pool and mobility. Like, good luck sniping Grom. Yeah. All right, guys. So here we are. If we take a look here at the forces of Call Harmon, he's got the Flying Air Force of Pterodon Riders. On the ground, we have Krokgar. Oh, we have Velociraptor Gar. Well, I'm trying to think of a more clever name for him here. Velocigar? Yeah, I'm not sure. Nonetheless, though, he does have the Hand of the Gods, so going to be trying to snipe the Skaven characters. And Hand of the Gods against, like, Throt. Oh my god, it does so much damage. Beastcaster, a Skink, and that is it. So, a very wide army. Double Feral Stegodon is going to be his monster core. And that is quite nasty for sure. Yeah, that's some good old stopping power right there. Tons of missiles in this army. Cohorts, Skinks, Pterodons, like a bunch of annoying stuff. Rock drops can also be quite devastating. And Pterodons, honestly, are one of the better ways to get to the cookie jar. So, for the Skaven army and Vicious Satsuma, it's going to be Skaven Slaves. We do have a couple Skaven Slave Slingers, Warplock Jezzail, Plague Priest, a Grey Seer of Ruin. Oh, look at this. So he has the dreaded 13th spell and Scorch, it looks like. And this guy has the Summons and Scorched Breath as well. So a lot of stuff designed to crowd clear. And last but not least, we do have the Ikit's Zap Zap Cannon, protected by Clan Rat Spears. And that appears to be it. Council Guard as well. Got to watch out. Make sure you don't get rock dropped on them. Council Guard. Cold Guard. Rentaraptor, Croxoraptor. Yeah, there's a lot of good ones here. There's some clever girls here for sure. Yeah, the Velociraptors are not messing about. Yeah, they're not messing about. Hand of the Gods is pretty scary. But the good thing for Satsuma is the best target for Hand of the Gods, I guess, is this Packmaster here. We have a Packmaster on a Brood Horror. He's choice. He is definitely a juicy target. So you want to take this rat out, and of course he's weak to fire, so you get 25% additional damage. Like a single direct Hand of the Gods will probably bring that Packmaster down below half health. Very, very nasty for sure. But again, it's not a guaranteed hit. It can be wild. It can get kind of blocked by things, and oh no, Satsuma, don't forget your Council Guard. Oh, Anakin, I'm too weak. Don't forget them. He says he's ready. No, you're not ready, Satsuma. No. Not like this. Because if they're over here, then they're just going to get like Pterodon down. Oh, God. Oh, Anakin, I'm too weak. I can't hold any longer. Come on, Satsuma. Notice it. It's like your centerpiece in your army. I literally can't focus on anything else. This thing is just haunting me. All right, the battle's underway. The Mission Impossible Council Guard. Can he win without the Council Guard? We will see. So Hand of the Gods doesn't do as much damage against big armor. So it will do good damage against the Grey Seer, but it won't be like as devastating as like blasting a Packmaster. This is like truly a tactical reserve. Not only is it being left behind, but it's not even with the army. Oiva Metzola, love your content. Keep it up. I will, and thank you so much for that donation. Very generous. Can Vicious Satsuma win without 1,300 gold in his army? That is the question, because I'm sure right now Call Harmon is just super excited. He probably sees that and is like, you know what? I'm just not even going to acknowledge it, so then he just forgets about it the whole game. Ouch, dude. That is, like, I almost in chat, I'm like, I want to say something, but that's obviously would be cheating. But, like, deep down, I'm like, Anakin, don't leave it. I'm too weak. So here, the Feral Stegodon is rampaging. It's going to be ramming into the Plague Priest, which honestly is not bad. He gets some really nice damage on that Plague Priest, and now you can see Krokgar is going to be following up. So far, pretty good start for the Lizard Onslaught. Yeah, man, Crocky G getting in there, taking that Plague Priest down very low, despite the Scrying Stone. That thing is getting hammered. And now the Rat Ogres are being pulled forward to start battering on the poor Skinks, and we're going to need to see some summons here from Satsuma very quickly. Still no idea about the Council Guard in the back. Those guys are just kind of Netflix and chilling. And yeah. You're saying he has an army rule break? Well, let's see. Is it ranged units? I'll have to take a look at it after the fact. And if he was, you know, they would just get a replay, which would be kind of a reset anyway, so we'll see how this game unfolds. So Poison Wing Globadiers dropping some hot bows here into Krokgar, and the Grey Seer of Ruin is going to be surging forward, trying to kind of plug a hole in the bleeding here, which is the front line. Oh, is that going to be the dreaded 13th spell? I think it might be. Oh, yes, look at that. Unfortunately, it doesn't do too much, and they kind of go the wrong way, but, you know, it still sends a message. The dreaded 13 spell is not to be trifled with. So, here, the army continues to advance from the lizards. The pterodon's just kind of poking. But, you know, the army is getting a little bit softened up. The lizard advance has been slightly blunted, I believe. Let's look at the stegodons. That's really a big tell. One stegodon here is in perfect shape, but I think the other one might have been killed or routed. Looks like I'm not seeing it anywhere. The Packmaster trying to save the Warp Lightning Cannon here in the back. The Grey Seer and the Rat Ogres fighting off the Red-Crested Skinks. But Krokar's on the hunt, man. He is right on the tail here of this Plague Priest, and he's doing it. So 360 shooting units. He's got 4 Pterodons in the sky and 2 Chameleon Skinks. Am I missing something else? Because that would be 6, if I'm not mistaken, which he would be allowed to have. The cohorts, of course, aren't 360 shooting, so I might be missing something. I looked in the beginning, but I'm pretty sure he has 6, which is fine. But again, we'll double check after the game. So you let him play it out, basically. You evaluate it afterwards, and you know, if the Skaven were to win it, it just doesn't even matter anyway. So we'll be checking it out. So the Stormvermin are here, and the Skaven Little Death Star has kind of solidified its forces. You can see the Packmaster and the Ogres are now moving about. Most of these Skaven weapons teams and different things like that are all compromised. Globadiers are offline. It can zap cannons, paying the Troll Toll. And here you can see that the Plague Priest is being taken offline, which is really painful. Granted, there still is magic with the Grey Seer, so it's not like a complete loss of your magic. And the Packmaster could potentially kill off this Feral Stegodon. We will see indeed. Oh, the Skink Chief. Is the Skink Chief, he can shoot and run, can't he? Okay, yeah, so I might have been missing the Skink Chief, but nonetheless, we'll let the players know after the match is over. Packmaster here going fisticuffs with the Feral Stegodon. Satsuma still missing his dreaded Council Guard there on the corner of the map. I'm sure if he discovers those in the twilight of this game. I know that the 6 360 shooting rule has, I believe, been in effect for some time. When we're... Oh, Hand of the Gods going in! Oh my god! And it like one-shots that Packmaster. Did you see that? Oh, negative 132. That thing is broken and dead. So now the Skaven are in a tough pickle, to say the least. A little Scorch effect going down. I don't know if there's going to be a dreaded 13th spell, but nonetheless, it is a rule break from the Lizards. But by winning this game with his Lizards, despite the rule break, he will be saving himself from getting a loss, right? Because if Satsuma won it, he would just get a loss. So, you know, he's fighting basically just to get a draw in this game, essentially. Yeah, the Skink Chief is on foot. I believe he 360 shoots. We'll have to double check. Yeah, I think he does. But, yeah, the Skaven, you know, Council Guard's still over there. They're fresh. This is like the most Skaven thing ever. They're basically sitting back there and they're just chilling, man. They're just chilling. It got changed to where those SE now count as 6, says Buck. Yeah, that makes sense. Council Guard Stormvermin just hanging out. We'll get a nice little cinematic view of their perspective here in the battle. While they sit here, you can see all the Skaven are squealing and running. Ironic, these brave, unbreakable albino rats are having the most cowardly play here. That's pretty damn funny for sure. So, yeah, here it goes, man. The Lizards rushing in, closing out the battle without the Council Guard to really buffer. You know, he's really paying the price. The Packmaster did get obliterated, but that's it. GG. So we'll look at the value of Krokar just for fun, but in the end, it will be a replay because there was too many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then yeah, the Skink Chief is 7, so that would be too many in that regard. It's a minor thing, you know, but it's good. We'll get a better game anyways. So yeah, leaving the Council Guard is a power move. I know. Hey, Call. So you had too many 360 units. You had 7 in total. 2 Skinks plus Chief plus 4 Terras. So you two can repick armies here. Satsuma says so it begins. Same matchup and map. Just repick armies. Good luck, have fun. So we're obviously it wasn't like an egregious thing. But I love it. Oh, Call is apologizing. 0 problems, dude. It's no biggie. Don't stress it. Don't stress it, man. It happens. It happens. It's good, though, because now we get a proper game. Because that just felt, like, depressing with the Council Guard being in the corner. Like, now we get a proper game. Yeah. Yeah. The Skink Chief. Little Skink Chief. It's so funny. Satsuma always gets caught in games with rule breaks, and it's generally not his. It can be his fault, but like today, he had to play like 2 opponents who like rule broke against him. Like, he's been dealing with this shit all day, man. Yeah. So yeah, I think Fred, what I'll do is I'll take a look at the armies before the match. Typically, I don't do it just so I don't forget the screen blocker, but we'll put up the Condom Wolf. I will check armies before a match from now on. Got screen blocker. So the players can rebuild their armies, which is fine. They can consider that a warm-up game here. You know, Satsuma hasn't acknowledged the fact that he forgot his council guard. I wonder if he ever noticed that. Or if he's like, man, my Skaven army just felt really, really naked. You know? Don't need to tell Satsuma it's his own mistake. I'm not saying anything. Yeah. Alright, so... yeah, this army looks fine. I think. I'm just going to double check a couple things, because now I'm like paranoid about it. It's like always a bad feeling, you know? But usually folks who make it this high up in the tournaments don't like, they know more or less that, you know, what armies you're allowed to bring and which ones are limited and things like that. It would be really nice if we could get like CA to like implement these rules into the lobbies. Maybe someday. That'd be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool, my friends. The Lizardmen. The lizard people. Little skinks are all happy. 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let me check something. I will. Okay, good thing I checked too, because I actually found another potential rule break here. Let me see. Checking. Okay, I think he's okay. I'm just double checking his army. Looks fine. I don't play Lizardmen often, so I can't remember their restrictions and things like that. That looks good to me. Solid army for sure. Okay. Yeah. All right. All right. We're all set. We are all set indeed. And we're good. Folks who make it this far usually play too long to bother reading the rules when they get changed. Oh, Satsuma did break the same rule. Yes, Android Poetry. That was in the grand finals of the single faction tournament, and we had to punish him twice. He brought too many Spider Riders. The 360, yeah. Like you got to be careful with that one. Thankfully, I don't really play skirmish, so I never have to worry about that. But for me, the only rule that I have to really watch out for is like single entities and yeah, that kind of thing. Like the maximum number of troops. All right, guys, buckle in, fasten them seatbelts. It's rule break time. All right, so let's get the Condom Wolf off the screen. Be gone, Condom Wolf. I'm taking it off, man. We're going in. Yeah, we'll do Hadri's. I'm pretty sure this one's fine. He's got the Pteranons and 2 skinks. He's all within his parameters now. The cohorts and the skink chiefs don't count as the same unit, so he's fine there. And the Skaven army is fine as well. So, oh my god, if Satsuma has, yep, he's perfect. Just the right amount of Skaven slaves. You guys got me all shook now. Yeah, we're doing it, man. Was that the dreaded 2 rule breaks in a row? Well, the reason why the stream took so long to start is because in the match previous to this one, we had several rule breaks. But those games it wasn't from Satsuma, it was from his opponent. So we had multiple in that one, and now he is running into it again, which is really funny. It's the same map. Yeah, should be all good. Should be all good. I know I'm like counting every little thing. Usually I don't even think about it. I'm just like, you know, the one thing I really look out for is like single entity, like that thing, but you know, it is what it is. Perfect Satsuma, I know. Watch it become a meme to rule break against Satsuma in game 1. That would be really funny. Just like every single time you play him in a tournament, you rule break game 1. Oh my god. He cut the council guard this time as punishment for their ineptitude in the previous battle. Yeah. All right. All good. Let's get this party started. Yeah. Oh, did they switch sides? It's probably... No, they should be on the same side because they didn't switch sides in the lobby. So yeah, for the Skaven army this time, guys, we got Skaven slaves. We got double Globadier to help deal with Saurus and Skinks, and double Giselle to snipe the monsters. We still have the same combination of the Plague Priest, Grey Seer, and a Packmaster for the anti-monster punch here. And that is pretty much it. So army is similar. No Council Guard this time. A little bit more width with Clanrat Spears and Ogres, and that is it. And now for the Lizard people, it's more or less the exact same army we saw in the previous game. He has the double Stegodon, Krokgar, Pterodon, Skinks, cohorts, and just chaff into the sunset. Against Skaven, you don't want to bring like Saurus or Elite type infantry because they just get Plague Furnace and or Globadiered or Mortared down. Typically, just like when you're playing Greenskins against Skaven, you want to be using like chaff and those type of units and things like that. So here they come. The players, of course, were both given an opportunity to change their armies. Historically, there's been a number of ways to punish like rule breaks situations like that. It's up to the judgment of the admin, of course. But sometimes the punishment is like the offending player has to use the same army and the other player gets to like repick the army. But if it's not like egregious or intentional, like, you know, usually I think taking this kind of approach is a little bit better and it feels better for everyone. Anyways, yep. So the Skinks are shooting into the Plague Priest. This time Satsuma probably was woken up by Krokgar's charge last game. We will be pulling back that Plague Priest almost instantly. And now the Lizard people are advancing forward. And nice little summon there. That's exactly what you want, just mucking up the defense. While the Giselles actually are opting to shoot the red-crested Skinks. Okay, so they're not going after the Feral Stegos. I think one of them is. I'm not sure. Looks like this Warplock Giselle partially obstructed, but I think that one is shooting into the Feral Stegos. It's a little bit hard to say. So Ogre's moving in now, going to be taking those Skinks to Pound Town here. Krokgar is lurking, probably getting ready to charge in, maybe go after that Plague Furnace. I'm not 100% sure. But this is certainly going a lot better for the Skaven, considering they haven't forgotten 1,300 gold. They now have a lot more meat in their army. The Warp Grinder, of course, is going to be scooting up for Satsuma and is going to be dropping the Warp Storm Scroll from the Seer, actually, to slow them down. But yeah, the bump and grind here is going to be really good. The Skink cohorts will take quite a bit of damage. And now we have a big pit fight here. Feral Stegodon's moving in. Pterodon's up in the sky, just shooting into the Ogres. One Ogre does get impaled on the horn of that Feral Stegodon here. And back in this fight, you can see the Feral Manticore is summoned by the Skink Priest of Beasts. Probably going to dive the Giselles this time. We will see. I would imagine that would be a nice target. Oh, and a huge rock drop coming in from Call Harmon. Nice one. So he drops the dankest of rock drops right there. Blasts the Warplock Giselles and the Globadiers. Then the Manticores coming in. This is going to be a mass buckling of the Skaven position, most likely. Chris, thank you for becoming a member here on the channel. Welcome to the Dukes of Haggard. Chris is an awesome name. It is the name of my dad's brother, and he is an awesome guy. Cheers, man. Feral Manticore. Cowhawks' Sentinels, they were able to crump that position nice and good-like, and here the Skaven are kind of suffering a similar fate as Call Harmon continues to move through his own tactical reserves here in the back. The Feral Stegodon finally going to be advancing. Certainly will be able to punish those globes, but like I said, this is going quite a bit better here for the Skaven Legion, because obviously they have all their resources in the fight. Bounce of Power is slightly Skaven favored. I think Krokgar does drop a Hand of the Gods once again, and he blasts that freaking Packmaster into another dimension. Man, oh man, Krokgar is a serious sniper here in this matchup, and I love that pick here by Call Harmon that he has that tech against Throt, because I bring Throt every time against Lizardmen, and like you could theoretically like almost two-shot him with that. So the Packmaster is broken. There's no Lizardmen forces to chase it off, which is a little bit unfortunate here. And yeah, back in the epicenter of combat, you can see that the Pterodons are on top of the Poison Wind Globes, and the Stegodon is on them as well. Giselles are rallying on the edge of the battlefield, and this is going to be really big. Call needs to make sure that he chases them down with the Pterodon Riders and really gets on top of those guys. If they're able to come back and start generating value again, that could be a big problem for him. Now another Manticore summon is used. Looks like the Manticore going to be going after the Grey Seer of Ruin in tandem here with Krokgar. Unfortunately, the Feral Stegodon is surrounded and getting circle beaten pretty bad by the Ogres. He needs some support in here. Now you can see some Skinks are going to be making their way in. And, oh man, really, really nice Scorch there by Satsuma. Not missing a beat here. And the other Giselles have not been noticed yet, which is very, very good here for the Lizard people. Definitely getting those Pterodons back there to shut them down is going to be of the paramount importance. So Krokgar making his way downtown, trying to get past the Warp Grinders here, but he might get bumped and grinded here. We can see they're sitting. I'm not sure if they have their ability off cooldown. And Krokgar is basically just hunting the Grey Seer. Thank you for the donation from Ruben. The upside of rule breaks, 2 Lizard games for the price of 1. That's right. That's right. Awesome stuff. Ruben, appreciate the donation, man. And yes, your lizard people are being well represented here in this this particular stream. Feral Stego's rampaging. Krokar going for the kill here on the big boy, trying to take out the Grey Seer. The Jezzails have now been recovered, but it might be too little too late. The Pterodons are going to be swooping in and routing them off the edge of the map, and now we have a very, very close game on our hands. Skaven do have a fair amount of Rat Ogres, but Krokar is going to be a problem. Also, that Feral Stegodon is really causing a lot of mischief while that Feral Manticore dives in. But when the Manticore disappears, it could change the dynamic of the battle back to a Skaven-favored situation. Packmaster is trying to get back in as well. He is being blasted by the Skinks on the approach, though. Really nice play here by the Lizards, intercepting them on the way back. But the Unholy Clamor, actually, really, really nice buff that a lot of people forget about, keeps them going. But look at this, Krokar is going deep on this Grey Seer, just ramming that thing in the back. It must be so close to breaking. Oh, why did he stop chasing it? Looks like he's refreshing his charge or something. Oh, he's trying to get around the Rat Ogres. I can't quite tell. Man, he needs to kill that Grey Seer for sure. Hand of the Gods! Going in. It blasts the Packmaster. Not the best hit, but it does actually break that Packmaster, which is really, really clutch. And now Carl Harmon's going to be pushing in, going after Satsuma's Lord. But it looks like he's caught up on the Warp Grinders. And suddenly the Lizards look to be in a pretty good position as they have a fair amount of Skinks with a lot of ammo. And Krokar is just going Super Saiyan this game, man. And yeah, he's doing it to it. Alex, thank you for becoming a member. Welcome to the Dukes of Haggard. Appreciate it, Alex. And enjoy your new emojis. And hopefully you're getting to see some of your favorite factions in action, my friend. So there you have it. Warp Grinders getting taken down. The Grey Seer probably should be chased off the battlefield. Khal does have his Pterodon Riders as well as these other ones here in position to chase down these units. And Krokar proving to be a really, really serious hard carry here in this game. The Skinks, of course, nice peppering. They can help finish off any rallying Rat Ogres, but can also slow down that Plague Priest and butter it up for Krokar, who's now going to be charging in. Pterodons with massive disruption across the battlefield. These brave Skink cohorts, of course, chasing down the Grey Seer. Looks like he's probably not going to rally, although those Skinks just do rout at the edge of the battlefield there, which is pretty funny. We got Ogres coming back in. Ogres with Skaven Slave Spears could actually do some substantial damage against Krokar. It's hard to say. He does get dogpiled in right here by the Ogres, but there's a little Skink Chief. There's a lot of ammo here. There's still plenty of Pterodons. I don't think there's any chance for the Skaven to really come back. I mean, Krokar would have to make some huge mistakes. And yeah, you can see the Skaven army is in mass exodus here. And now Crocky G is going to be going in, man. And pretty cool to see that pick. That's very inspiring. I have to give that a try myself. And with that, the Lizards are going to be claiming an official victory. No, don't even say rule breaks in chat. I swear. Don't do it. There wasn't one. No. Amazing game. Well played. Krokar doing work, man. 2,800 value on Crocky. Awesome. Stegodons did pretty good at around 1,000 on that one, 500 there. Pterodons were huge also. Like the rock drops were super awesome. Really, really good stuff. And yeah, that's a cool build by Satsuma. The Packmaster really got dunked on though. That was quite painful. The Jezzails didn't do too much either. I've been noticing lately that Jezzails are they've been performing lackluster for me. I don't know what it is, but it's just been me, I guess. I don't know. Have you guys been feeling that way? Because I have. So on the next map, let's go ahead and find a map that isn't god-awful. So Northern Chaos Waste is the one with the hill in the middle. I can't remember which one is the one with the hill. I think Southern is the better one. So Southern Chaos Waste is a good map, I think. Let me go ahead and double check this. Yeah. Map set. All right. Hey, Chris, thank you for the donation of the 1569. Oh, yeah, dude, I see what you're doing there. My birthday monies shall be shared with Sensei. Bow to your Sensei. I have spoken. You're the bee's knees, Sensei. Hey, appreciate that, man. You guys remember, man, it's so funny because this movie, what the hell is it called? What was that movie? God, dude, it was so long ago. Chris, just give me a second. Napoleon Dynamite. You remember Rex Kwon Do? When they go and he's like, bow to your Sensei, and he's wearing like the American flag pants. That's the kind of Sensei I want to be. Chris, thank you. I do have American flag pants too. And Jack Daniels, Crocky Balboa going to town. Dude, I know. He looked just like Rocky. He looked like he was down and out in the beginning. He came back and won the fight in the late game. Awesome stuff for sure. North is the hill. Perfect. Thank you. I just want to make sure I don't do that map because that one sucks. All right, Satsuma says he's going to ban Vampire Counts and Skaven, and he's going Greenskins. So Carl Harmon is going to go Wood Elves. All right. Oh, looks like he's going with the sub-faction? No, okay, I was looking to say. Bow to your Sensei. Yeah. It's so... Chris, you watched it a couple weeks ago? Or someone did? Somebody in chat watched it a couple weeks ago? Oh, that was Frostlight. Yeah. We've seen the American pants. One of my favorite photos. I have a photo. Hold on, let me find it for you guys. It's pretty funny. I could use it as a screen blocker. So this was back in college. There's a photo. Do you guys know like the flagpole thing? So when you like go on a flagpole and like hold, or like a street sign and like hold yourself sideways. I did that with my American flag pants to make a freaking American flag. Oh, do I still have that photo? Man, I don't know if I still have it. Let's see. It's the one good thing about Facebook. It's like a good repository for all these like all these old things here. There you go. All right. Awesome. Hey, Craig Stevenson. Craig, welcome to the Dukes of Haggard. Dude, the Dukes are growing today in numbers, man. The Legion grows powerful. All right, you guys want a new screen blocker? We'll call it America Pants. I think I still have it. Yeah, where did I drag that? Okay, it's on my desktop. Put it up here. Here was a photo back from college. that was me wearing my American flag pants, making the there's the sensei pose right there. Oh man, okay. Let's do this and then yeah, just so we can do that. All right. Oh man, there you go. Everyone prepare to salute. Yeah. Well, Craig, man, I really appreciate it. Hopefully you enjoyed the emojis. All hand-drawn by Lady Turin, as a matter of fact. So now I'm going to check the armies just to make sure. I think I have the blocker up, so... That looks totally fine. Yeah, it looks fine. No drama there. Yeah. Okay. Looks good to me. Looks like both players are ready. How many Dukes of Haggard are there? I think like close to 200. I'm not sure. I have to check. Yeah. All right, so we're loading in, guys, on the Southern Chaos Waste. We have Call Harmon up 1-0 on his Wood Elves facing off against Satsuma's Greenskins. Show the one with your dodgeball team. I'll let you show that one. Yeah. The national anthem plays solemnly. Straight from the dojo, I know. MC Hammer's flag pants. Yeah, oh no, I actually used to be really fit when I was younger, before my damn nerve damage in my hands, like, literally atrophied my whole upper body. I like, God, man, I could do so many pull-ups and push-ups. God, and now I'm just like some decrepit old Palpatine. It's okay, can't have everything, man. There you go. All right, so let's go ahead and turn that bad boy off here. You want to get a roundhouse kick to the face from those bad boys? So Napoleon Dynamite, like the instructor has like the American flag pants on, and he's like he's like asking his students, like, you know, would you want to take a roundhouse kick to the face with these bad boys? With like American red pants. Oh my God, it's so funny. Yeah. Yeah. That's it. All right, guys, and here we are. Not the rubber match, but game 2. Satsuma's down a game. Coming in with his most powerful faction. Satsuma, of course, has won the dreaded single faction tournament several times with his greenskins. Grom the Paunch, really hard to snipe. Good against Wood Elves for sure. He does also have the Giant River Troll Hag with Spirit Leech and a Vindictive Glare Caster. Pretty much no good greenskin player can leave home without Vindictive Glare. It's an incredibly broken ability, in my opinion. 4 Spider Rider archers. In the back, we have 4 basic Spider Riders, and the rest of his army is going to be Orc Boys and Biggins. I think that Spider Riders backed by Orc Biggins is like so damn strong against Wood Elves. I really do like this army quite a bit. Craig Stevenson, love the stream, Turin. An S tier caster for sure. Thank you, man. I'm probably more of a C+ tier player these days, or maybe a B-. That's what I'm feeling like, but I'll take the S tier caster status. Also, any CA watching, please update the Beastmen. I know the poor Beastmen. Craig, thank you, man. Really appreciate that. Really appreciate that. And now, if we take a look here at the Wood Elf army, let's see what unusual schemes Call Harmon has. He's got Dryads and War Dancers. Pretty standard. They can trade okay. Obviously, they both lose to Biggins, but you know they can do their work. Dryka might help win the frontline fight. She does have Pendulum for the Biggins, as well as the Dryad Summons and the Resolve ability. And here we got Glade Guard, Starfire Shafts, a good countermeasure against the Stone Trolls. And the back line's going to be Wild Riders with Sisters and a little bit of skirmishing. So that is it. Here's the build. Here's the build indeed. I know, Misha. Fair play indeed. Fair play. Glade Guard spam is really good. but I've tried it. My old build, I actually, the first person to enlighten me on this, because I had a Wood Elf build and I was consistently crushing really solid players who were using Stone Trolls, using just like Glade Guard Starfire Shafts, and it was going very well. But then I played against Ben the Barman in a best of 3, which you guys will be seeing soon. And he used a greenskin build pretty, like, it was Biggins and Spider Riders, and I found that I was just getting swarmed. My front line was losing badly, and because usually with Stone Trolls, you don't see Biggins as much, because like it's more of a cost investment, so you have to cut corners by getting cheaper infantry. But the Biggin infantry, really punishing. Not to say Wood Elves can't win. I mean, they certainly can, but it's just, it's difficult for sure. Good luck, have fun. Good luck, have fun. All right, guys, predictions in chat. Let us know if you have emojis for these factions. Drop those bad boys, greenskins or Wood Elves. Let us know your predictions. I'm quite curious. We're going to do it, man. We're going to do it to it. All right. They will be advancing. No tricky vanguards, no schemes. Just straightforward, good old-fashioned, good old-fashioned fun here. Greenskins will obviously have a little bit of a skirmishing advantage, which is not something you hear often. So honestly, for the main engagement, I would imagine the Greenskins probably will just not, engage initially. They'll probably just sit back and send their Spider Riders forward to get some nice shots into the War Dancers. They're a very choice target. Because, like, Dryads get massacred by Biggins, so do Eternal Guard. So killing the War Dancers and what little infantry quality we have should be pretty good here. So we'll see. How long has the stream been going? I don't know, like around a little over 2 hours or so. So we have this series, and then to close out the stream, we have a best of 5 final, which should be quite a bit of fun. Excited to share it all with you guys. So here come the Greenskins. The Wa is here, one of the best Greenskin players in the whole community, bringing it to bear. As long as he doesn't have any dreaded tactical reserves, he should be okay. And on that same note, Call Harmon does also have good counter skirmishing. He has the Glade Guard Starfire Shaft, so shooting at the Wood Elf infantry won't be for free. See, this is what usually I see happen, right? So the Spider Riders with good control will fend off the Wood Elf cavalry and like their own skirmishers, because they're just so annoying to get rid of. And then that buys time for the Greenskin army to like advance without taking any like heavy fire from the skirmishers or cycle charging, things like that. And no, I looked at these armies, Robert, don't worry. We're all good. Jack Daniels, start to Wa. Thank you for the tenor, man. Let us get a big Wa in chat if you're here for the Greenskins. Thank you guys so much. And here we go. Starfire Shafts are really good. The fact that they removed magic damage from them made them actually better in a lot of matchups. They're like better against Dowie now. Because if they did magic damage, what little bonus they got from their fire would actually be negated against Stone Trolls. So I think objectively the Starfire Shafts are better without their magic damage, which is good. I mean, the magic damage made them kind of cool against like ghostly units, ethereal units, but usually you wouldn't see them against like undead anyways, or at least against vampire counts. A little bit too hard to protect. In this matchup though, anything can happen. Starfire Shafts really, really, really need to make sure to kill all of the Biggins once they approach. Orc boys will get crumped by Dryads, or at least it'll be like a relatively even affair. But the Biggins are the ones that need to take the beating before the fighting. Otherwise, they're going to dominate most of their engagements. A little bit of skirmishing here. Glade Riders and Wild Riders doing their thing. Frontline fighting is now underway. A missed charge on the Dryads is unfortunate. They do have some charge bonus of 12, but they should be okay against Orc boys. And Grom the Paunch is a really good answer against Dryka. He beats the hell out of Dryka here. That big Chungus he's beating on his cart here, but he's got to watch out. If all the Starfire Shafts unleash on him, he can die very quickly. And you can see in response, he has used his Lucky Banner. So the Lucky Banner here is going to be probably keeping him safe for at least a period of time. So here in the front, boys piling into Wraiths of the Frozen Heart. Biggins will be fighting the Eternal Guard. Going to be a messy affair. Dryka is single-handedly fighting here. Probably should pull in some War Dancers, or at least maybe summon the Malevolent Dryads. And this is the thing, because if you don't snipe Grom the Paunch, he just goes balls deep in your back line. But then, excuse me, I almost hiccuped there. But if you don't snipe the Biggins, then you also pay the Troll Tolling away. But Grom getting in there, taking a lot of damage. You got to be careful. He maybe needs to be a little bit more conservative. What Grom probably should do is rotate like outwards towards a flank instead of being right in the middle where he can be crossfired by everything. Ooh, Dryka with a nice pendulum though. That was a beaut right there, hitting the Biggins and those Orc boys. And so far, I think Call Harmon's doing a pretty good job of, keeping his business together. Sisters of Thorn, cleaning up Spider Riders. Wild Riders out here in an advantageous engagement against Spider Riders, but there are Biggins nearby, so they'll probably lose that fight. But all the archers are kind of shooting, except these ones. Now Satsuma's starting to get into the cookie jar a little bit. If Grom the Paunch lives, I think he might be okay. But if Grom the Paunch actually dies, oh, he's shattered. Okay, that gives the Wood Elves a pretty big leg up, because now there's not a whole lot here that can deal with Dryka. Normally, Grom would just be like rotating around the edge, and the archers would be left to shoot relatively inefficient targets. But I guess they have the Giant River Troll hack too. Yeah, you can see now the archers are being hunted. Spider Riders are killing these ones. these Orc boys pressing into the back line. There's also Spider Riders here. But I have to say, some really, really good Wood Elf play for sure. Shutting down Grom the Paunch as well as the Hag is certainly not an easy task to do. There's a lot of micro going on. But in the end, Call Harmon with a very convincing victory there. Well played to him against an immaculate greenskin player. So there you have it, man. Starfire Shafts are the way. Really good control. Drika did her piece despite having her counter on the battlefield, and it was an awesome game. A lot of stuff we didn't really get to focus on as much was the flank engagements. He did a good job keeping the Spider Riders in check with his cavalry corps, which I usually throw mine away, I suppose. So, yeah, well played. Well played indeed. That is going to be a juicy, juicy 2-0 for Call Harmon. So now he will stay in the lobby, and he'll be facing his opponent on the top side. 8 hours and a lot of pain. Oh, yeah. Satsuma saying he's been playing. He's getting worn out. No worries, man. Call, stay here. All right, so Call Harmon will stay here. And now we will get his opponent, which I believe is Alfredinho on the top side. We'll go ahead and tag him in the old Discord app. And Discord is such a good, useful app. Tagging Alfred. And let's get that bad boy ready to go. The Cursed Friends list has appeared. So now we are on the best of 5 final. Who will be writing their name in the stone of Season 6? Who will be qualifying, forever immortalized in the haggard halls of history? Reset the score. And we have Alfred Dino. Very good. We'll get the pants blocker up so I can double check the armies. And for the maps, let's go ahead and pick one ahead of time. We can do the Sword of Torgal. It's a good map. I like that one. Hey, Satsuma, well played, man. Hold your head up high. Carpal Tunnel is the true OP magic school. Oh, God, don't talk to me about that. What attributes do you need to be a good Greenskins player? Yeah, Greenskins usually... I mean, you can play Elite Greenskins. It works, too. But, yeah, usually, like... Yeah, you need to have, like, good macro control, because there's a lot to control, you know, and a lot of it's very squishy and fickle. So if you, like, slip up with, like, your skirmishers and they get caught, they die very quickly. Yeah. Presser Sleepy Time ASMR. Hey, Turin, just caught up on the LL tournament. Huge Asur fan, and the triple Eltharion win gave you life. Yeah, that was amazing. Thank you for the donation. We'll be doing another one of those on Monday, and then Tuesday we'll have another team tournament stream, and then Wednesday I'll probably take off and or in some order similar to that. Yeah, Skype got karate chopped for sure by your boy Discord. All right. So Alfredinho is going to go Skaven. He's banning Tomb Kings and Wood Elves. So we have Skaven first picked here by Alfred. We'll see what he decides to go with. If you're in my Discord, you can go to the tournament rules section and you can find the rules for these tournaments in all their glory. Yeah. Hendrik, I don't know what that is. So yeah, my apologies. I'm a little bit poor on lore. So, all right. So we have Norska versus Skaven. Call is going to go Norska, and Alfred is going to be going Skaven. This used to be a counter, but I don't think it's a counter anymore. I think it's an even matchup. Skaven obviously got a lot of new toys, and they can shrug off a lot of what they used to get crumped by. So we'll see what happens. Which race is the easiest to micromanage? I mean, dwarves, you don't have to do a whole lot. I mean, you still have to... yeah, but they're pretty high leadership. You don't have to rally troops. Like, undead are actually really easy to micro. Like, if you just want to play undead blobs, like, that's very little micro. Like, Mortis Engine, like, with single entities. Because, like, you don't have to worry about routing units. You don't have to worry about, you know, like skirmish cab usually. Tomb Kings are a little bit different, but, yeah. It depends. It depends. Yeah, Dr. Doom, teach their own for sure. I've always felt Greenskins are... Oh man, Ventrilo. I remember using Ventrilo back in like 2007. Back in the days of college. Playing the old World of Warcraft with my pals in Ventrilo till 5 a.m. when I had class at like 7. That was the shit. Alright, looks like Alfred is ready. Skaven versus Norska. I'm excited to see this matchup. Certainly been seeing a lot of Skaven today. What's best to use when playing as Tomb Kings? Well, that's a pretty broad question, Noah, but I can give you some suggestions on units that I think are very good for Tomb Kings. Number 1 would be Ark in the Black. I think he's the best lord. Summon, Spirit, Lore of Death is like guaranteed value. I think Ushapti Great Bow are amazing, and I think Nahakara Horsemen are amazing. Like generally, like those units just all trade super efficiently in my experience. MSN ICQ, yeah. AOL Instant Messenger back in the 90s, or not? Well, late 90s, early 2000s, I guess. Yeah. Just 40 minutes. Yeah. Dobrze. I'm all good, sweetie. My smoking hot wife dropping by. You hear that compliment? I gotta get credit for the compliment. Hey, Mark McCoy, no worries, man. You're just in time for the grand finals. We've had some amazing games prior to this, so if you're looking to see some, I would definitely go back later. But yeah, this is going to be the best of 5 final here. So did the Chinese tournament ever finish? It's close to finishing. I think some players are just really slow at getting their games in. So the current standings of the big Chinese tournament, that kind of the Chinese versus Westerner tournament, is I'm currently 3-1 in it. High C is 3-1. I think Anticity is 2-1. He hasn't played his last game. I think Fistek is 0-1, but he hasn't played his other 3. So it honestly looks like there could be a massive tie with a bunch of people going 3-1. But yeah, as soon as I have any updates on that tournament, I'll post them for sure. Oh god, I still use parts of my ICQ number for random passwords. Can never unremember them. I know. There's some passwords I remember from the days of old. There's one that me and my friend had a World of Warcraft alpha account. We had a friend whose dad worked at Blizzard Entertainment when World of Warcraft was in alpha, and he got us access. So we were like these little kids, like playing World of Warcraft alpha, and I remember the password we had back then. That was like 8th grade or like 9th grade. It was a long time ago, dude. Yeah. Misha says, back in the day, you'd have a priest write a letter for you, take it down to the local tavern and find a courier that had brave weather, bandits, and monsters from the swamp to deliver it to your friend. That's so cool. Yeah. Yeah, Zebra Duck. I'm pretty busy on stuff right now, but yeah, I'll get back to that eventually. Yeah. I'll get back to that eventually. Yeah, man. His dad worked at Blizzard Entertainment. Yeah. All right. I remember that was such an exciting thing. All right, so DM me on Discord with question. All right, so he has a rules question here real quick. We'll see what he has to say. Just a quick check. I better double check the armies too. I think the American flag pants are up right now. Okay, good. Okay, I see this. That army looks fine. Skaven army looks fine too. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. The classic. Let me check. All right, so the question has been answered here. Cool. Let's get this party started, man. Let's load into this bad boy. Give it a good old roundhouse kick. Turin, would you play Franz and Gelt? Yeah, they're a good co-op duo. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, if you and your pal are looking to unify the Empire and fend off the evil of the realm, for sure. Do you think... did you ever think of picking up Classic WoW when it came out? No. It's too much of a grind, dude. Like, the amount of hours I put in to level up and, like, farm when I was a kid or a teenager, like, no way in hell I'm doing that now. And, like, I'm really competitive, so if I didn't put in that time, I would be pissed off that my character sucked. So, like, that's what's great about Total War Warhammer or RTS games is, like, I don't have to farm or level up anything. You know, I can just get in there and go fisticuffs, so. All right, let's load in. Get rid of the American flag pants that have been valiantly blocking for us. And, yeah, we're all good. Yeah, Warcraft 3 is a great game. The Reforged was absolute dog shit, though. They, like, literally just took away features and just, like, yeah. Like, it's not about the graphics. You know, if anything, like, modern-day gaming can show you that, right? There's so many, like, indie games that are mega popular. it's not about the graphics, it's about the gameplay, right? So like giving people more like, yeah, it was just bad. I don't need to get into that. Danger Jonger, I'm not sure. Yeah, that's strange. You could always do it on the computer later or something, but dude, don't stress it either way. Just happy to have you here, man. All right. So if we take a look here at the Skaven army, they're going to be vanguarding Night Runners and Gutter Runners. So it looks like 2 groups of 2 with a symmetrical formation. In the back for the rest of the army here, it is going to be a Packmaster. We have a Hell Pit Abomination, a Grey Seer, and also a Chieftain. So it might look like too many single entities, but Bonebreaker mounts are like horses. They don't count in the current rules as a rare SEM. So you could technically have another Bonebreaker here too. You could have like a Grey Seer and 2 Chieftains on Bonebreakers, and you could have like 5 big, thick monsters fighting. So yeah, pretty powerful for sure if you want to go that route. Rest of the army is going to be Skaven Slaves, Wolf Rats, and just, it's a Molder Mash here, guys. Molder Mash. Packmaster, Hell Pit, Grey Seer of Plague. No Throt, though. I was really expecting to see Throt. I always feel like he's very good. But the Packmaster is certainly, you know, a decent replacement for sure. Thanks. I was asking because my friend is wanting to play the faction they know the best is Empire. Yeah. That's a good one. It's a good co-op. Mark McCoy, thank you for the $5. Great channel. Thanks for all the years of enjoyment. You're very welcome, man. Thanks for sticking around for years. It's been a journey, man. We've been on together for quite some time. We got Condom Wolves on the flanks. So it looks like there's going to be 3 or 4 in total. 3. They're very good against Skaven. They're solid. They trade super efficiently with the Molder monsters. Berserkers. We also have Wolfric the Wanderer, a Shaman Sorcerer of Fire, and a Feral Manscore with some Javelin Sport. It's a very, very meta build, more or less. He's deployed a little bit far back, which I think it might be a mistake. It's not going to hurt him that bad. But if he were facing like mortar teams, he would pay more of a price here than if he were like advancing a little bit closer, I think. Depending, well, not too much, I guess. But I would deploy back a little bit, so. Yeah, strongest factions in the game. I don't know. I feel like Greenskins are really top tier. I feel like Skaven are super top tier. I think Vampire Coast, like, people still perceive them as being top tier. I still think they're like an A+ tier faction, but I wouldn't put Vampire Coast as an S tier faction anymore. I find that people, you know, have been consistently defeating them, you know, or at least evenly defeating them. But yeah, Skaven and Greenskins, I would say, definitely are top tier factions. They have their weaknesses, though, mind you. We saw the Greenskins lose last game, and we've seen Skaven lose today. But, you know, to each their own. To each their own. So the battle soon to be underway. The Norscan army kind of shifting around a little bit, maybe eyeing out its positions, and the Skaven skirmishing corps hanging out. Wolf Rats, of course, are here to screen in case there was any fast Norscan hounds or Manticores, anything to dive. He has the Wolf Rats to kind of, you know, counter those guys and push them back a little bit. So, so here it comes. Night Runners and the boys, they are ready to fight. And here comes the Gutter Runners with poison. Going to be advancing up here to probably poke the Berserkers. That's going to be their best bet. Or if the Manticore makes a mistake and advances out, if the Manticore like flies ahead of the army, the Night Runners, the combined volley of the 4 Night Runners, or 2 Night Runners, 2 Gutter Runners, could actually be enough to rampage it probably, and that would be a really, really strong early pick. So you got to make sure. You got to make sure you're careful there with those Feral Manscores. Keep it back and use it for the good fight later, because Feral Manscore is quite strong. You know, they can get in there and go fisticuffs with the Skaven monsters and pack a lot of punch. And a bit of a flank overload here by Alfredino. Very risky. Wolf Rats are pretty low leadership. Condom Wolves do charge in, but it looks like he gets the free damage he wanted. Yeah, and there actually is a mortar team there, so I didn't see that. So there is indeed a Poison Wind mortar team, and now the far back deployment is going to hurt a little bit more than it normally would. So this Norscan army is going to get peppered up pretty good on the approach, and you can see, man, oh man, that is mortars are very strong. Hammering those Marauders with damage, and the Wolf Rats are just like nipping at the flanks with the Packmaster. This is like really annoying harass. And the problem is that Wolf Rats on the charge actually can almost trade evenly with Skin Wolves. It's insane. They just have worse leadership, right? So basically you just keep doing this. It's forcing Wolfric to respect this and come out here. This is like some really, really good Skaven kite in play here. Although he does appear to be losing 1 Night Runner. It's hard to say. No, it looks like they more or less have gotten away. The unit is just kind of very awkwardly positioned. So now some Condom Wolves are being sent out here. So if the Packmaster and the Wolves like turn on it, they can potentially get a kill here. And yeah, the Norscan army is certainly getting hammered. But, you know, this is usually what happens in this matchup. The Norsca will have to close the distance and do their thing here. But the Skaven skirmishing has been very strong. These are not armored Skin Wolves also. So this like little poking shuriken damage is going to be extremely punishing against them. It looks like the mortars are going to need to fall back here. And now the Condom Wolves are going to be engaging with the Wolf Rats here. Now, normally this would be a good engagement for Skaven, but the fact that there's a Mammoth nearby might just terror out the Wolf Rats off, leaving the Packmaster naked and alone. We'll see. And some of the Wolf Rats really overextend very heavily, and now they're probably going to be paying the ultimate price, as the Wolf Rats do get terror routed. And the Condom Wolves are tearing into these units and regenerating, so they're doing their thing, man. They're enjoying life. Mortar's still going, able to nuke those Marauders off the battlefield, but I would say Norska's not doing too bad, considering, you know, they've taken a lot of damage, but you usually will against Skaven on the approach. But on that same note, though, Skaven's only been fighting with like half its army, and it's already done this much damage. So, yeah, very, very nasty stuff. Ooh, look at this, a Storm Vermin summon! The dreaded 13th spell was used by the Grey Seer, so there's a fat unit of Storm Vermin down here, but with Alfredino. Awesome stuff. Scorch going down as well on those Marauders, but what is he going to use those Storm Vermin for? I guess they're just going to sit there and take those shots. At the very least, there's like a curse going on today of Storm Vermin being forgotten about, which appears to be a thing. Mortars once again are firing. They were able to fall back to a more comfy position as the Skaven army does rotate, using the dreaded 13th spell to move in and attack Berserkers as well as those Marauders. Very, very good play. And Norska in a very, very desperate chase here. The Skaven kite is certainly real. He's doing an excellent job of rotating his faction, or his, well, I guess his faction, but his army away from the Norskins, while the Norskins are forced to endure summons and mortars and all sorts of nasty pressure. And the two Wolf Rats are back too. Looks like Alfred was able to secure these Wolf Rats, or at least one unit of Wolf Rats. I think the other one might have been shattered or destroyed outright. I can't quite remember, but yeah, very good stuff. So who would have thought? Weapon seems kite. 34 speed on these bad boys, a lot of damage. Storm Vermin were able to block up and actually rampage those Berserkers. And the Skaven is going to be starting this fight in pretty good shape. They're like dropping summons. This is like some textbook Skaven play. Beautiful stuff for sure. But again, Norska is not out of this by any stretch yet. They're still moving in. Javelins can do some great work against the monsters here. And if you could shut down that mortar, it would certainly buy a lot of leeway for his infantry, because nothing in the Skaven army outside of the mortars and the Grey Seer is like super good at killing infantry. But the amount of damage he's been doing to soften these guys up is good. These summons are activated here once again, and the mortars continuing to butter the bread of whatever they hit. And man, those javelins having a bad old time. Down to 61 models. A lot of damage over time effects. And look, the players are basically trading star positions. Like, he's rotating around so masterfully. And, you know, this is really interesting, because when we saw Alfredino in the first qualifier play against Felcon in his best of 3, Felcon did win the best of 3, 2-1, but the one game where Alfredino won with his Skaven, it was like this exact same thing. He was able to beat Felcon's, what was it? Yeah, he beat Felcon's Skaven by doing, no, was it Skaven? No, Bretonnia, I can't remember. But he did the same thing. He like rotated his army, he kited, it was like masterful, and you can tell he's really, really practiced at this style of play here. So Wolfric going, and yes, they're trading deployment zones. That Norscan army looking mighty tattered here. Certainly has taken a lot of damage. Whereas the Skaven army is pretty happy right here. Wolfric trying to get in there, but he's also taking a bit of poke from the little Night Runners. And how much armor? He's got 70 armor, so he's no slouch there. Another summon has been activated. You know, on that same note, Skaven summons are, you know... Oh, look at this! Unfortunate pick! The Condom Wolves able to actually really punish the Packmaster. So just one little play like that. All the advantage you saw in the Bounce of Power is suddenly gone with that Packmaster getting nuked like that. So man, those Condom Wolves really gave that guy the business. There must have been... some sort of metal spell on the Packmaster as well. I don't know. Yeah, it felt like that damage was really, really sudden. So Norska is still pushing. Call Harmon going up the hill, able to start crumping these Gutter Runners in combat. Gutter Runners are out of ammo, so they're being sent into combat as a bit of a distraction Carnifex. Not a distraction Carnifex, like a distraction shield drone, a distraction, you know, I don't know. Something that's insignificant. They're getting in there and they're applying poison and slowing down the Norscan advance, buying time for the Skaven to reposition their mortars and start blasting into the army once again. Because yeah, he's getting to use all his ammo, man. I don't know what happened to that Packmaster. The mortar teams, they're just barely on the edge of like being caught, man. But now they're probably going to be ripping some big shots right into this blob here, the one that the Gutter Runners are holding up. Here it comes once again. The Packmaster is healing. That is Value City, dude. It hits 3 Marauders. It hits the Sorcerer, which is kind of like a consolation prize. But man, oh man, that was nasty. And now you can see the Bounce of Power once again is really reflecting the Skaven here in this situation. Some Marauders and Javelins still moving up here, boys and girls. And the Skaven army has yet to really take a square engagement. Really, really good Gutter Runner Eshin play. You know, a lot of people want to see pure Eshin armies. Typically, the best way is to, you know, mix all the clans together, right? And then you get something like this. You get a little Molder, a little Eshin here. All sorts of good stuff. Some more Clan Rat summons going. The Norscan Horde is advancing. Pretty beautiful kite so far here. You can see 77 Marauders trying to catch these guys. And what is this going to be? A Scorch? Yep, looks like a Scorch effect going down. Able to tickle the pickle of those guys. The mortar is almost out of ammo. So this mortar, guys, has used like all of its ammo. all of it, just about. Oh god, this Norscan army is just so tattered, and the Skaven have like still have so much back here, and they're like fresh too, like fresh. A little tired on him, and the Norscan army's like exhausted, winded, tired, just from like waddling and being blasted with poison and it's all this nasty stuff. The question is, will the Norscan army have enough left after the Skaven use all their ammo to fight? You know? And this is kind of the price you pay for not bringing like hound units. Like Norska doesn't have any like fast units to press the Skaven. I mean, you know, condom wolves are quick enough, but by themselves without like true hound mobility, you do open yourself up to this happening. Yeah, that mortar must have had some insane value. As a matter of fact, just to sate all of your curiosity, we can check before this this goes down here. So yeah, 2,300. So they've certainly paid for themselves, and before their last volleys are over, nailing double Berserker there. Oh my god, another summon going down. Oh god, this is such good Skaven play. And here comes the Clan Rat summon. They're trying to rush. Yeah, they certainly are trying. But if they had some like hounds that could corral this Skaven a little bit, like force commit some like backline charges and things like that, yeah, this is a rush build from Norska. Norska doesn't really have a choice; they have to rush. But so the Mammoth might finally get in there, and it looks like I think we're finally going to see a frontline fight. It's hard to say. The mortars are finally going to get caught, but they don't. Who gives a shit? They've already done so much damage. 2,500 on them. They're up to silver chevrons now. And now the Hellpit Abomination is going to be getting ready to fight this Manticore. The Manticore taking a very aggressive dive here versus the Packmaster. Yep, Skaven engaging with most of their forces. Norska has a couple infantry units left. They have the Brutes of the Hound and some Marauders here. Wouldn't this be an insane comeback if like somehow the Norskins were able to get it? I mean, it's certainly possible. Most of the Skaven army back here like is just haggard units. It's like Clan Rats and spears and just chaff and things like this. So the Condom Wolves do break the Skaven front line. They're able to break those Night Runners and get through the last mortar volley going. So this is going to be the end of the dreaded Skaven Kite, it looks like. Although it looks like they have one more volley left, so they could perhaps do a little bit of scooting and shooting. Gutter Runners and Night Runners being sent into combat. The makeshift melee units, we'll see. Going to be going after those Marauders. And here comes the big Wolfric man. Looks like he's heading over here, going after the Hellpit Abomination. It's not the thing, but that Hellpit certainly can do some work. But, you know, getting it broken, maybe chasing it off with some Skin Wolves. I don't think there's any Marauder Horsemen either, yeah, in this army. It's very much kind of a static Norscan rush. I mean, not static in the sense that it's not going to move, but, you know, it doesn't have, like, Horsemen or Hounds, things that you often see in these kind of rush builds, so. But yeah, now we got a big blob fight. Wolfric going to be dropping, or I think a Burning Head maybe coming in. Yeah, overcasted Burning Head. Ooh, nice one there. Roast a ton of those Skaven slaves. Giving the Norska a little bit of punch here in this fight. You can see the Packmaster does have the Hunter of Champions on him, and he's quite damaged. Wolfric might be able to do a number on him. Brutes of the Hound, of course, still fighting pretty efficiently, and the Condom Wolves are healing. Flaming Sword of Ruin going down, going to be imbuing fire damage here into this entire blob, which helps against the Hellpit Abomination, against the Packmaster, not against the Chieftain, I believe, because I don't think the Chieftain regenerates, although while Kindle Flame's active, of course it does. Manticore Summon coming in to rear attack the Hellpit Abomination. It looks like the Mammoth is going after the Hellpit. And the Wolf Rats are going after the Skin Wolves, which are isolated out in open field, which is very strong. If they can break the Skin Wolves, chase off regenerating units, that is a massive amount of value. But very valiant effort here for the Norskins, trying to pick off the Hellpit Abomination. I think another Burning Head would be very juicy here too. Going right down the pipe, that would be very, very nice indeed. Danger Donger, welcome to the Dukes of Haggard. Appreciate you, man. You figured out how to do it. Nice. And yeah, man, welcome. Chuck Norris shall bless your sacred entry here into this battle. I'll give a Palpatine laugh for you too. Cheers. So yeah, Hellpit Abomination's wavering. Norska taking a lot of damage on Wolfric. Scroll of Shielding is active, giving him 22% ward save. And you know what? Killing that freaking Hellpit is a huge, huge start at getting back into this game. Because now, you know, there's no like dedicated anti-large beater. Yeah, you do have the Chieftain. I mean, if Wolfric breaks here, maybe it's over, but if Wolfric can get back to his Condom Wolves and then like Burning Head or Seafang this formation, yeah, get rid of all the chaff units, man. That's really nice. Hits the summons too. And now they're broken. So unfortunately the Manticore is rampaging, but if that Manticore and Wolfric could team up on the Chieftain, that might be a way back in this game. And the bounce power is ebbing really heavily in the favor of Skaven, but again, the bounce power can often be deceptive because it doesn't account for like what's good against what on the battlefield. But Wolfric is getting taken to the Pound Town Club here by that Chieftain pretty hard. The Chieftain is getting really consistent, you know, armor-piercing damage on this bad boy. And the Skin Wolves trying to get back in, but it looks like Skin Wolves instantly break. A nice effort there by Call Harmon. Of course, he was fighting with much less of his army there. But in the end, it looks like that is going to be a victory for the dreaded Skaven. That was some really, really good kite for sure. Yeah, GG. Well played. And that is going to be a Skaven victory. There you have it. There you have it. Those gutter runners, man. Oh, so good. His repositioning. Now, what you saw from the Skaven, it might have looked easy, but it's not. That's a lot of micro, moving the skirmishers and also repositioning the mortar constantly, giving the attack order on the proper targets. It's a micro-intensive amount of play, managing the wolf rats. 2,900 value on the mortars. 1,400, 600, 600, and 800. Really good value on the gutter runners. Monsters, of course, did great, you know, for the most part. And yeah, I mean, you guys saw what happened to the Norscan army. Wulfric still did really good considering how beat up he was and the rest of his army. But in the end, there was no Marauder Horsemen. There was no Hound units of his own to really corral the Skaven army. To avoid something like this, I think you would probably want to go with more Hounds, more pressure pieces, more Marauder Horsemen, because then you can get behind the Skaven army, pin them in, and force them to fight you earlier. In this case, the Skaven had no back pressure, so they could just keep falling back. So there you have it. That is going to be one for Alfredinho. But remember, this is a best-of-5 final. So let's go ahead and get the army blocker up here. And we'll move into the deal here. All right. So next map is going to be, we could just put them on a Mimi map. I want to do a small map, but like so many of the small maps are a little bit funky. Do a Troll Country. Yeah, this is probably one of the better ones. Ring Around the Rosie is a lot less fun with poison mortars. That's funny. Oh, man. I picked Lizardmen. Map is Troll Country. So Call is going to go Lizardmen, banning Coast and Dwarves. And we are doing a small map. I haven't done like any small maps today. Oh, yeah. Stretch out the old legs. Yep, yep. Yeah, that was some really good kite. That was good. That was some... The Elvish gods were like watching that game and like nodding their head in approval. They're like, all right, maybe the Skaven do something right. Skaven are the masters of retreating, man. The masters of scurrying and retreating. Hold on a sec, guys. I just got to check something real quick. Got one of my pals here. Come on. Load up for me. All right. Thanks again for joining, guys. It's been a fun stream so far. I know we got a little bit of a late start, but such is life. And yeah, we're going hard, man. We're going hard in the paint. All right, cool. You like the blocker? Yeah, it's a classic. Carter. That's from 2012. It's my final year of college. And they weren't even mounted, yeah. Yeah, more Hounds to pressure the back. More Marauder Horsemen are actually good there too, because they're javelins. If you can like make sure you don't blob them for mortars, basic Marauder Horsemen can really do quite well against Hell Pits, Rat Ogres, Brood Whores, everything with their ranged attacks. So we got Lizardmen against Tomb Kings here on the Troll Country. So probably going to see some Ushapti Grapos and maybe some Feral Carnos over here. I'm curious to see if Call has any like really cool, unique ways to play against Tomb Kings, because I've always felt this is a matchup that's favored for the Tomb Kings here. Yeah. Scurry, yes, yes. Yeah, Carter, that is me. Yeah, that's me. Yeah. Way back when. Way back in the day. Not that long ago. That was like, what, like 9 years ago? Yeah. That was before my hands got really bad. Like right before it, actually. Hey, Samurai Warrior. Tournament's going really well. I gotta make you a mod in chat, Samurai. I don't know why you aren't. I forgot to check for rule breaks. It's okay. I'll check during the setup phase, and then if there's anything, I'll tell them to leave the game and just redo it. Oh my god. I got so excited chatting with you guys, man. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and get rid of the American pants. The battle is on Troll Country. Lizardmen versus Tomb Kings. We've seen that Carl Harmon is a very good Lizardman player. We've seen him performing exceptionally well. And let's see what he can do here against the dreaded Alfredinho. Alfred was pretty close to qualifying last week. Of course, he ran into the Dreadlord Falcon, which is certainly no joke, and had a very good series against him. Ooh, man, I like how this guy thinks, man. That is my kind of lizard build. So for his lizard force, he's got double pterodons just for rock drops and disruption. But more importantly, guys, he's got the Colossedon Hunters and Ripperdactyls. Dude, that is so awesome. On top of that, he's got the Saurus Warriors in the front. Pretty sustainable front line. A little bit of skink skirmishing in the back. He's got a red-crested skink chief. Whoa, what is this? Look at this guy. A red-crested skink chief. That guy costs like nothing. This lord probably costs like 800 gold. Costs less than greatswords. Oh, man. And a skink priest of beasts. Dude, I love this army. This is so cool. Hell yeah, dude. And now if we take a look here at Alfredinho. He's up 1-0 right now in this best of 5 series. He's got skeleton spearmen and basic skeletons backed by Ushapti Grapos and the Sepulchral Stalkers. Double a Necrotect, Setra the Imperishable, and a Necrosphinx. Pretty cool army for sure. Very well rounded. Oftentimes he will see 2 Ushapti Grapos, sometimes even 3 here, but I think he knows it's a small map. He doesn't want to have to protect as much, so he's going to do a little bit more of a monster-heavy build using Setra and the big Necrosphinx. So there it is. Let's do it to it. Let's have some fun. How can you tell whether shields will work against a particular weapon? Like, do they work on bombs? I don't believe so, no. Not against explosive damage. Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, I think the burden of victory in this match, in this build situation, is more on the Lizards, because it's much easier to get a good engagement for these Tomb Kings monsters than it is for the Ripperdactyls. Like, Ripperdactyls in a dream situation can rip these monsters to shreds, but they're such glass cannons with 45 armor, not the biggest HP pool, and only 30 melee defense that, like, if they get caught bad, like, one screw up and he loses. Whereas the Tomb Kings can afford to make mistakes, considering they have double Necrotect here with restores. So, yeah, we'll see. Let us know your predictions. Tomb Kings or Lizards? Who you rooting for in chat? We have ODM Alfredinho here on the Tomb Kings facing off against Call Harmon here on the Lizards. Good luck, good luck. Let's have some fun, man. The Troll Country calls. The Troll Country calls. If you're looking for Gelt campaigns, I had a pretty fun Gelt campaign here on the channel where we had a... This was before the whole 2019 this or that was cool, but we had the dreaded Fred Durst army, which was the War Wagon Doomstack, which actually was really good. Like, none of the Chaos armies could, like, do anything. Yeah. Hey, Terrence from South Africa. Cool, man. Hope all is well over there. Perhaps Lady Turin and I will travel there someday. Alex dropping the Mazdas in chat. Drop the fat Mazdas. So, is there going to be a rock drop right away? Probably going after King Nikesh's Scorpion Legion is the way. Those guys are pretty a costly unit. They're not cheap, I guess. So it looks like maybe thinking about engaging here. Ripperdactyls are sitting overhead. Oh, look at that. He actually does a rock drop on the Ushaptis and then dives with the Pterodons. Very interesting. That actually did a surprising amount of damage. Now, where is this Air Force going to go? You got to be cautious, right? Because there's all these Nagakar horsemen. And, of course, the Palhoxa Sentinels here are just going to get wrecked incredibly bad. In the backfield, it looks like the Ripperdactyls, the Colossedon Hunters, are going to be tearing apart these Nehakar horsemen. But you can see what I'm saying. Like, even though they're fighting a much cheaper unit, like, they're still taking a lot of damage. So it's a scary situation. But the Saurus will win the frontline fight. So a lot of this matchup, too, is, like, occupying the Grapos and the monsters while your infantry win the front line. Then eventually you can swarm the big monsters with your chaff, right? But the Colossedon Hunters and Ripperdactyls staying up in the sky, getting a huge salvo here. That really, really hurts on those boys. The Ripperdactyl's probably going to be juking backwards, trying to stay away. But yeah, so far the Lizards have done a good job keeping most of their Air Force alive, and the Tomb King's front battle line is getting very, very low. The Red-Crested Skink Chief just kind of waddling around on the ground, not doing a whole lot. Colossedon Hunters now flying overhead, perhaps looking to engage here, but you could see that the Sepulchral Stalkers are actually crumbling because the Pterodons are basically just sitting there and blasting them. Here comes the Ripperdactyl charge. Ripperdactyls come in here, and though they are designed against infantry, they still pack high melee attack and really good armor piercing, so they should be able to kill these Sepulchral Stalkers very quickly. And a very risky dive back here from Call. He dives his Colossedon Hunters like right into the heart of the army here with poison spears and anti-large monsters everywhere. That might be a little bit of a mistake that he'll come to regret. We'll see, though. The Ripperdactyls did good. They more or less killed the Sepulchral Stalkers. In the front line, we do have the Feral Stego and the little Skink Chief bumping and grinding through this front line fight. Ushapi Summon appears to have been used in the front line, so that one is off the books, but I think that was a pretty big misplay with the Colossedon Hunters. If he had waited for his Saurus to get back here, which was only a couple moments away, then Jove with those Colossedon Hunters, they could have done some great work. I think he actually had a balance of power advantage, but now it's actually even again, which is certainly stressful. But Tsars are going to be a problem, man. They're high leadership. They can certainly just, keep moving after these troops and chasing the Ushabti Great Bows around this relatively small map. Stegodon's okay. Saurus all, still, yeah, good. They're still going, man. 2 units of very healthy Saurus. Now, there are some infantry or anti-infantry elements here in this army for Alfredino. He does have the double Necrotex, but man, oh man, that Colossadon loss is really got to be hurting right now, because having those guys around, like right now, would be so valuable. Because once the monsters start to get stretched thin, they have to deal with different threats, and the Saurus chasing them, that's, where they really shine. But Ushabti Summon's gone. Balance of Power creeps back to the middle. And honestly, despite that one slight misplay, I think the game is dead even. It's a really, really close game. Cohort of Sotek, super efficient at chasing Great Bows. Great Bows with Poison are currently 44 speed. These little bastards are 46 speed. They have good AP. Low melee defense on the Ushabti, I guess. It's not that low. It's actually 44. Pretty impressive. But yeah, they are refusing to die, and they're hunting those guys down. So we'll see. Where is that little Skink Chief? The little red-crested Skink Chief. He's back here. He's in good shape, so certainly feeling pretty good about himself. And the other Ripperdactyl squad is probably going to be proving to be the MVP here. It's going to be just chasing down whatever it can on the scraps. Which, oh, look at this. The Colossadon Hunters are back. You might as well use their Toad Rage. Just get, like, right next to the Chosen and do that. We'll see. They might be able to kill one. We'll see. HP 2200. Here comes the Colossadon Hunters. I mean, they have 130 apiece. 3 of them is, like, one, big Lord attacking. And they Rampage with Toad Rage. And they do a couple hundred damage. They do force out a Narrow's Incantation as well. But they're going to break pretty quick. Obviously, they're at like 3 models, so not going to be the prettiest situation. Knighthood, welcome to the Dukes of Haggard, man. Hopefully you enjoy your new emojis. Based on your name, I'm sure you'll be using the Bretonnian ones quite often, the Glorious Knights. Here comes Pterodon Riders once again. An easier unit to sacrifice for sure. Just trying to keep the Chosen of the Gods from shooting. And now the Ripperdactyls jumping in on ya boy Cetra, and though they are not the Colossadon anti-large pterodactyls, the Ripperdactyls, they'll still hit pretty hard. You can see a couple hundred HP has been going down. Pterodon's causing a massive amount of disruption, and the little red-crested Skink Chief that could is still going quite strong here, as the Tomb Kings are virtually out of infantry. We have 52 of the Nikesh's Scorpion Legion, and yeah, I think that's it. Ushabti Summon was used very, very early in the game, so we're not seeing that bad boy here, and the Ripperdactyls can do some good cycle charging. That's going to be hard to bring down the Necrosphinx with the 2 little Necrotechs on the ground supporting, but if like the Lizards could find a way to snipe the Necrotechs using like the little Skink Chief or something, or maybe even getting the Ripperdactyls to kill them, I think that would be the right play. Like grabbing these, like cycle charge here, pull back through your own Saurus in this direction, because without the healing support, the big monsters will be much easier to drag down, because restores are no joke. Okay, a big Alpha Strike coming in, a Manticore Summon going down by the Lizards, as well as the Ripperdactyls, and it looks like here he gets a pretty nice round on Cetra, doing a ton of damage. Now, if those were the Colossadon Hunters, man, that would have been probably a dead Cetra at this point, but right here, a very, very nice engagement. And Knighthood saying he likes High Elves, all right, man. Hell yeah, dude. Cetra the Imperishable at negative 29, 900, 800 HP. That was a beautiful dive, and look at this. The Lizards are pulling massively ahead in this game. That looks like it's going to be a GG with those Ripperdactyls tearing apart Cetra. And with that, the Tomb King's army crumbles like a piece of paper. Brutal stuff, man. Brutal stuff. That was a really, really good game. Huge Manticore Summon. Absolutely Anticity. I agree. That was so good. Dude, look at this little hero of a red-crested Skink Chief. Yeah. He would have probably won earlier, too, if the Colossadon Hunters were a little bit more cautious. No crazy value here. Great Bow's got like 1,300. Sepulchral Stalkers kind of got crumped too. That was really, really good Lizard play. Solid stuff, man. And now we got a 1-1 series, guys. A contested series. Always makes for the best of 5s when it goes back and forth. And now let's go ahead and set up the next map for these 2 gentlemen. We will not put you on Waldenhof, because I remember that map being a little bit funky. I think we do River Amazon. That's a good map. All right. I hear my dogs just like going ham in the backyard. Cetra the Perishable. Yeah, Cetra certainly perished. The small map was very helpful to the Lizardmen for sure. But, honestly, Tomb King still could have won it. River Amazon. Yeah, let me go ahead and reset this farm. What maps do you guys see? Let's make sure they see the proper maps. Yeah. It's been a great game so far. Perfect. I think one of them was like seeing Troll Country for some reason. All right, guys, give me a hot moment. I'm going to go get some water. I'll be back in just a minute here. And while I'm gone, you guys can listen to some sea shanties of the Vampire Coast. I'll be right back.
Blood runs cold. We take our loot, but don't get old.
All right, I'm back from my water break. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I feel like the shanty is always welcome. All right. So Alfredino's going to go greenskins, banning Vampire Counts and Tomb Kings. And it looks like Carl Harmon has a question here, so we'll see what it is. Have you been watching Turin stream today? Says Carl. He's asking. Seeing what's up. A little friendly conversation between the players. Is there anything to up the Hellstorm rocket battery's accuracy? Yeah, it's I mean, if you're doing like a 2v2, there's a couple ways, but it's not really worth it. Usually you just want to like get in there. So is it going to be Bretonnia versus Greenskins? I think so. So we got Bretonnia versus Greenskins. Yeah. Play it on repeat. It's always good. I feel like if I was as physically fit as I was back then, I could like do... Well, I couldn't hold up there for a full game, that's for sure. Yeah. Yeah, I think that shanty is the best. There's a couple soundtracks that are really epic. Like the Karl Franz trailer one is really epic. And also the Thorgrim Grudgebearer trailer is like super epic too. I love those ones. They're awesome. Yeah. I definitely enjoy the standing desk, for sure. Sea shanty seems to be doing well on social media. Yeah, on YouTube, there's a lot of like popular sea shanties, actually. All right, you guys ready for some Fey Enchantress? Mortis Engine blobbing against Greenskins? Because I'm ready. I know the emoji says King Lewin, but protocol, but we're gonna be seeing your boy or your girl Fey Enchantress here. Yeah, players are picking their armies. I would move Skaven to StarCraft 2. Oh my god, imagine that. The dreaded fourth race in StarCraft. Yeah, StarCraft's always been about the three factions. Warcraft 3, you know, in Warcraft 3, there you have the undead, night elves, orcs, and humans, right? But so there's 4 factions in a competitive RTS. There was actually going to be a 5th one too. There was back, I think, in the early days of Warcraft development, they were like going to have a Naga. The Naga be a playable faction. That would have been pretty interesting for sure. Like they have a whole army for them and everything. Yeah. Yeah, they're just chatting. I don't know. Hopefully they're actually picking their armies. Zerg already wins everything? Do they? You know, I watched a couple games last night on the GSL and I saw Zerg losing. Who was it? Who was playing there? It was no, I think they might have won the series, but it was like 3-2 or something. Yeah. I was watching the GSL or whatever it's called, the one that Tasteless and Artosis cast. It starts at 11:50 at night, which is, you know, I'm cool for that because I stay up to like 2, so it's perfect. I just like watch that as I go to bed. I'm like, oh, dude, this is great. Yeah, Anticity. Do you play Warcraft 3, Anticity? If you do, we should play some time. I'd be down to play some 1v1s with you. That'd be really fun to throw it up on the channel. Yeah, they're discussing it. I'll tell them, don't forget to pick your armies. How do I do like if yeah, I gotta get involved there. Yeah, you get to, in some of the campaigns, you get to play as the Naga. Yeah. Who is the current StarCraft 2 champ? I don't even know, actually. I think they're... I'm really not that into the StarCraft like esports scene. I just like watch it when it's on. Back in 2011, I was super invested in it. Back in college. All right, Alfred is ready. We'll see what Call Harmon has got. I would imagine Fey, double Paladin, a shit ton of Peasant Archers, Knights of the Realm, and some Knights Errant or Questing Knights. Something in that purview, you know? Yeah, you played a bit? Very cool, man. Yeah, I checked out... I've seen Spellforce. I've seen Spellforce. In StarCraft, I was Masters. Yeah, I was Masters. Yeah, and Warcraft just kind of had a win percentage. There was like levels and everything, but I can't even remember what I was. I had a pretty good win percentage in Warcraft 3 ladder. I think it was like 60% or something. Oh, yes, thank you. Okay, he's changing up his army. I'm like counting shit now. Yes, army's fine. It's a very strong army here for Alfred. That's like, it's pretty meta. More or less. Looks like this army's fine too. Very cool. Very cool indeed. Total War requires less micro? Yes, it does. But it needs a lot more game knowledge. Yeah, the game knowledge is really, really important, because in StarCraft you only have to know a couple matchups. But micro is much more important. Also, macro management is much bigger in StarCraft too, because you get to like, you know, 3 base, 3 base, 4 base, 4 base, and it's like the amount of macro you have to be doing, it's way more. Like, the one thing that Total War has that is the knowledge, like faction knowledge. That's really important if you're going to be a high level player. Yeah, Misha, you know what? I'll play some Warcraft 3. I'll try and grab like Italian Spartacus and Anticity and a couple other folks who play in the community, and we can do like a big FFA stream. I think that'd be really fun. Yeah. Major Moolah. That'd be cool, but unfortunately, I don't think I've ever done StarCraft on the channel, so I don't think they'd want to have me in their game. All right, so let's get rid of the blocker here real quick. Oh, damn thing. Curse the Bagginses. So we got a 1-1 series. Of course, it's best of 5, so no serious pressure here about, you know, the game being won or lost quickly. Oh, yeah, I watched Power Rangers when I was a kid, for sure. Yeah, most people in the States did, I suppose. All right, guys, if we take a look here at the dreaded Legion of Bretonnia. Oh my god, what is this? It's Horse Lewin. What the hell is this shit? All right, guys, he's coming in with Horse Lewin and a Paladin, no Fey Enchantress. He has a Heavens Caster for Windblast and Curse to lower armor. Peasant Archers, Men-at-Arms, backed up by a shit ton of Cavs. So Knights Errant, Knights of the Realm, and 1 unit of Grail Guardians. This is a very, very different army. Goodness gracious. Okay. Okay, then. And now for the greenskins, a little bit more meta. Spider Riders, Goblins, you get the Goblin Great Shaman. Obviously, he's a pretty good, you know, fighter against Bretonnia, and has Vindictive Glare spam, so you can just like blast, you know, squishy characters and stuff. And we got a couple nasty Skulkers and quad Orc Boar Boys. So a decent AP. Yeah, they lose head to head, but like in numbers and with, you know, spider support, they can actually trade pretty well. And there is going to be a Rock Lobber as well. Yeah, man. Dude, Horse Lewin. That is very off meta. I can't remember the last time I've seen Horse Lewin. Anticity in chat saying, I've never seen Lewin on a horse before. He gets a lore bonus buff. Yeah. Cathay is China. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Because you have Nippon, which is Japan in Warhammer, and then you have Cathay as China. That's what they were asking in chat. I think. I could be wrong. You guys will have to enlighten me. A little bit of a cheeky Vanguard here. We got a couple Skulkers deployed upwards, and the Greenskins taking refuge here with a partial refuge with the pigs in the trees. So there's a bunch of wild boars oinking in them trees. And the Bretonnians doing the same thing, more or less. They've got Knights Errant, Knights of the Realm, and Grail Knights, and they're just kind of reposturing their armies right now, getting everything good to go. Dude, if he wins with Horse Lewin against like a meta greenskin build, I'm going to be super impressed. Like, super impressed. Yeah. That would be pretty wild for sure. Yeah, one of the difficulty factors for Total War is the fact that many aspects of it just don't work, like dropped orders and like AI pathing. Yeah, no, it's pretty funny. Oh, StarCraft is super micro intensive, dude. The reason why I'm able to play competitive Total War is because it requires nowhere near as much micro as like competitive StarCraft. Like in competitive StarCraft, you're like constantly macroing between your units, buildings, like frickin' like different things all over the map, dude. Yeah. No. That's just my opinion, though. Some people may feel that this requires more micro. I personally don't. I feel like StarCraft is a little bit more stressful on the micro, but that's just me. It depends on what level you're playing at, too, because if you're like a low-level StarCraft player, it might seem like less micro, because you just get your army in a blob and you're like just moving forward, not caring. But like scooting and shooting and unit splitting, like if banelings are coming into your like marine blob, and you like if you don't split, like you just lose, but like the high-level guys split in like 10 directions with the marines instantly. Yeah. Yeah, so we'll see. We will see. So the players kind of jockeying for position here. We will see what they do. We will see. Janky Eye can be pretty great for RTS. Looking at you, StarCraft 1 and Warcraft 3. Yeah. Yeah. And now, guys, the battle will be on soon. Both players a little bit indecisive about their positioning, moving back and forth. And it looks like we're going to be pulling the trigger right now as Horse Lewin makes his way downtown. So Horse Lewin, I mean, okay, he regenerates. He's a smaller target. How much armor does he have? He has 110 armor still. So Horse Lewin is very, very heavily armored here. Your Goblin Wolf Rider Archer is going to be Tokyo drifting back and forth. Here's a nice little volley right there. Dropping into Lewin. Vindictive Glare being overcasted and going after the Paladin. Oh, God. Oh, it looks like it might have hit the tree or just only tickled the pickle of that Paladin. Now, that is very, very good here for Cull Harmon. Able to mitigate an overcasted spell like that so early. Now, the Haggard Skulkers are rushing through the trees. Look. Oh, my God. This is so funny. So the little goblins are going, the knights are like, screw that shit. We don't want to get caught up in the trees and bushes fighting a bunch of goblins with prison shanks. So they're going to be falling back, which is certainly the right play. Get out of the forest and just defend your archers and to get ready to party. On the other side, loose engagements, Knights Errant and the Knights of the Realm maybe looking to hammer down on the side of the formation. Greenskin's very much doing a big overload here because they have the bacon. They have the Boar Boys with the nasty Skulkers there, so a little bit scary for sure. Man, it feels so weird seeing Bretonnia without Fey Enchantress these days. Like, she is just so powerful. Like, she could literally solo, like, all these infantry. And honestly, is super hard to snipe, too, with her magic resist and other variables like that. So this is a nice play. Knights Errant in the backfield fighting the Spider Riders here. But unfortunately for the poor Knights Errant, you can see here that Alfredino is able to get a nice concave fire and just blast them. And that's why Spider Rider archers are so good. They're actually surprisingly cost-effective in melee because of their poison. Even if their stats are low, they poison the enemy, and yeah, it's just really annoying. So we do have a big fight in the trees. It looks like some of the Skulkers did get hammered. The Grail Guardians moved in, and now we're going to have a big blob fight with Lewin and the Paladin maybe coming into support. And yeah, Bretonnia should probably fall back. They killed some Skulkers, take your victory, and you know, call it a day. So the Bretonnia pressing the front line pretty hard. Cull able to get in there and run over these goblins, and also hammer these goblins. Unfortunately for his poor Knights Errant in the backfield, you can see those guys are... yeah, they're probably done for. Not going to be too much of a player here going forward. But archers for Bretonnia are shooting into Orc Boys. Over here, we still have that big blob fight, which Stand Your Ground is active. We have Foot Lewin, or Horse Lewin. We have the Paladin, and they're fighting a lot of Orc Boys with a Wa too. And now the Goblin Grey Shaman's going to get in. And the big problem for Bretonnia is that this is kind of an all-in right here. The fact that these knights are probably susceptible to a smoke bomb. There could be the spider poisoning them. When they try and retreat, they're going to take massive casualties. So if Bretonnia doesn't win this blob engagement, they could probably just lose the game. Now, as far as these other fights go, Men-at-Arms here just bumping and grinding in the front line. Bit of a wash. Some cavalry back here falling victim to the same trap the other ones did, being enveloped by the Spider Riders. And yeah, they're in some trouble for sure. Now, this is really the important thing to watch, though. So the Knights, these are Grail Guardians. Grail Guardians are extremely durable. Horse Lewin going to actually fight the Spider, which I don't know how well that's going to go for him. We have some more Knights Errant coming in, and You know, if the pigs do get broken off, and they're able to get a surround on the Goblin Great Shaman with Horse Lewin. I mean, Horse Lewin doesn't even have good AP. He has like, yeah, 360 weapon strength right now when he's poisoned by this giant spider. That is such dog shit. Oh, that sucks for him. Yeah, he's got the Wolfric the Wanderer syndrome, that's for sure. Archer's doing some nice fanning out here. You can see that Call is basically pulling his archers in a couple directions and cross-firing the Orc boys where he can, but most of his archers are being hunted down methodically here. In the backfield, we have some knights and peasants trying to dive onto the Hammer of Gork. Not quite able to get there. The Spider Rider defense in the backline has been quite impeccable, so very, very good stuff indeed. So let's just watch the only thing here in this battle that really matters, which is the forest fight. Grail Guardians, of course, and all these larger units are going to be taking a penalty in the trees, but Horse Lewin's getting there, man. He's taking some damage, but he's giving it back. The one advantage is that the Spider, of course, doesn't have the best leadership. Could break here if he gets surrounded. We got some Boar Boys coming back in, but they're going to be layered upon by Knights Errant surrounding them, and the Grail Guardians are actually doing very well. They're insanely high melee defense of 80 against, you know, relatively low melee attack. It's high from sneaky stabbing, but Boar Boy's base melee attack is like, I think it's in the 20s or something. Yeah, it's very, very low. Skulker's breaking? Could this be the dreaded Horse Lewin? Could this be his time to shine? If he can break that spider and chase it off the battlefield, despite everything else going a little bit poorly for the Bretonnians, I think that would be his way to win this. But he needs to break this spider. Now, it looks like Alfredinho does have the Crown of Command. So even if he does get close to breaking with good proper control, it shouldn't be a problem. Some of the Boar Boys are breaking off. These ones, oh, he actually used the Crown of Command on the Orc Boar Boys here. Might actually be a mistake if this spider gets broken by the Paladin and Horse, Lewin Horse, or Horse Lewin. I can't think of a clever name. My brain's, I need some hot dogs, I need fuel, I need sustenance. That could be a big problem, but it looks like the Greenskin should be able to get their caster away. Now, Bretonnia has some rallying forces. There's a couple archers coming back. The Trebuchet, the Hammer of Gork, still hammering away at the poor peasant mobs here, and this is just a very grindy fight. But in the end, it looks like the Grail Guardians were able to do very well. And yeah, it's basically just Horse Lewin versus the Spider now. He does get the Sword of Couronne, but that thing still has freaking 90 armor, dudes. It is very, very tanky. Its melee defense is currently almost close to 0. It's 6 right now, so Lewin's getting in there and doing some good work. I mean, Horse Lewin could carry for sure. Heaven's Caster does have some Wind Blast, so if the Greenskins decide to blob up there. The Grail Guardians, though, man, 132 kills, many of which are actually against Orc Boar Boys. Yeah, this is it. It's going to come down to this duel, really. 3,700 here. Lewin's at about 1,900, but he has the advantage of healing, like I said, which is very important. The remnants of the Bretonnian army being chased down by goblins and whatever mishmash of greenskin forces can be mustered here. Looks like the Grail Guardians are being pulled back and will be used to maybe hammer these Orc Boar Boys here, while Lewin and his damsel, who does not seem to be in distress, piling in against the Goblin Great Shaman. But now there's going to be a rear charge from these pigs here. Lewin has pretty good leadership, but he's kind of struggling in this duel. The armor is a big problem for him. Might need to get the Grail Guardians in there to help out, but Grail Guardians do actually finish off these Orc Boar Boys. And now they're going to finish off these goblins. And yeah, Greenskins do pull ahead in the bounce, though. Lewin kind of getting crumped in this duel. He's down to 1,000. The Damsel of Heavens, I think, trying to cast something, or it looks like that might be some Greenskin Witchcraft. Yeah, man, Lewin needs some milk. He needs some support. He is, he's trying. Yeah, Horse Lewin is not having a good time. That Spider's anti-large bonus really helping. It has massive AP, it has poison, making it a pretty insane duelist. So Lewin pulls back, which is the right choice. I think getting the Grail Guardians in here to saturate and surround and maybe try and win you some of these engagements is the way. But yeah, Lewin's going to die there, and that'll probably be GG. Looks like Alfred will pull it out, but I have to say I'm very impressed with Call's play using such a meme lord. But in the end, maybe he's had success with it. You know, maybe it's like his way of surprising Greenskins. But yeah, just like if that was Fey Enchantress and 2 Paladins in there, that whole Boar Boy blob would have died like instantly, and the Paladins would have killed the Spider. You know, 1,200 on Lewin. Spider got 3,500. Oh god, Grail Guardians got over 1,000 value, which was nice. The Bretonnian Cavalry did good, but in the end, Horse Lewin was not able to do it. So that will be 2-1 for Alfred. Will he be the qualifier? All he needs to do is win one more game. All right, so let's go ahead and do another map here. Let's go back to Old Faithful. We'll do Oakenhammer. They've already played it today earlier, but it's fine. It's a really fair map, so. All right. 2-1. Lewin Horseheart. Yeah, I know. The Grail Knights were really gangster, man. They were awesome there. They're really awesome. Lewin has really poor AP values on horse, yeah. Cool. So players will do their picks and bans here. We'll get the dreaded blocker up once again. And yeah, just hang tight. Enjoy each other's company. So we saw Call was able to do really well with Greenskins or with the Wood Elves earlier. So it looks like he's going to be going to his Wood Elves. I'm not sure, Schmandolf. I'm not sure. He might have used to go under a different name way back when. Yeah, we'll see. Best of 5 is certainly different because it really stretches your factions. Like if it does go to game 5, like sometimes people run out of their good factions and have to like off pick, and it can be really interesting to see. His name was Purple Haze, older player, newer name. Got it. Hadri is saying that Call Harmon used to go by a different name. He's been playing for a while, so maybe he just got back into multiplayer though. Who knows? Clearly he's very skilled. Wood Elves banning Beastmen and High Elves here. And we get Lizardmen. Yeah, this is actually a fairly common pick against Wood Elves. His Solar Engine skink play. So somebody in chat was like asking for lizards. Here you go, man. Got you covered. Got you covered. What's the best noob faction to break into multiplayer? I don't know. It's hard to say. It really depends on how you play. But I'm sure some people will just tell you like Undead. I always thought Tomb Kings are good because they like, you can monster mash, you can play like a well-rounded build, you can play artillery builds. Like Tomb Kings I always recommend them. They're really cool too. Like with Tomb Kings, you don't have to buy like 3 DLCs. You just buy like, you literally just buy the Tomb Kings DLC and you get everything, which is great. So you can like dive right in. Mr. Worldwide with the American flag, yeah. But I wouldn't say Tomb Kings are a noob faction at all, but I would recommend them. I know, we've been getting so much Lizardman play today. It's pretty insane for sure. A lot of these bad boys getting all up in this stream here. Empire is fine too. Yeah, Empire is hard. I think Empire is hard to play though. Like Empire is very touch and go. I do like them because they're diverse and they teach you a lot about the game. But they're like, if you don't have good micro, Empire I think can be hard. Yeah. Yeah, hard to say. Can't go wrong with a gin and tonic watching Turin stream. So after the stream, Lady Turin and I are going to be playing Arkham Horror, the board game. Have you guys ever played that? Yeah, it's called Arkham Horror. It's really cool. You play as these. You're in a Lovecraftian universe, obviously, in Arkham, and you play as these like different investigators trying to like stop portals from like, you know, outer realms from opening, and it's really cool. It's like a cooperative game, so you play against the board. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with Guac. I think like just play whatever seems cool to you. Like look at the lore of factions, and like I find that when you like the lore of a faction, like you get much more inspired to play it. For me, like I watch the Karl Franz trailer like once a week when I want to get hyped to play some Empire, and I'm like, hell yeah, dude, let's like get some demogryphs and party. You know, that's just how I jam. I know, Adam V. I agree. Yeah, Arkham Horror is really fun. Well, shock me saying it's only going to be 2 to 3 players, so it could go quick. But yeah, we're still learning the rules too, so we're kind of potatoes in that regard. I mean, we have Arkham Horror, we have Scrabble. Anna and I played Scrabble quite a bit. We also play some chess. Anna's good at chess, so we play a little bit of chess. I haven't played that in a while. I'm very, very mediocre at chess. But yeah, it's fun. You love Malagor's lore? That's rough, dude. That's a rough one right there. All right, here we are, guys. Let's take a look at the forces of the Wood Elves, who are going to be led by Call Harmon. I've seen this build. I saw him use it, I think, a couple weeks ago to pretty good effect. Basically, you have Starfire Shafts, spam, 5 of them. 3 Wildwood Rangers, which trade very well with Saurus. And then you have the Eternal Guard with Silver Shields to block the Skinks. In the back line here for the Wood Elves, We have Wild Riders, 2 here, 1 on the other side. And the Lord is actually going to be Dryka. A little bit of a risky gambit. She is weak to fire and really can get blasted by solar engines if you're not careful. So we will see, my friends. We will see. And now for the Lizard people. Very, very good chameleon layering there. Also double solar engine with the Lord Mazda nets. So the one thing that he really has to watch out for is making sure that the solar engines and the skinks don't get to just annihilate the Wildwood Rangers, because that's what will happen. And without the Wildwood Rangers, the Saurus are going to dominate the infantry fight. And it becomes a relatively tough situation. So we will see. Yeah, Scrabble's really fun to play. Scrabble's really fun. Oh, is Dryka yelling at me? I have the sound off, so I don't have to listen to that. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think in terms of armies, I think that the Lizardmen do have probably a better army matchup here. But again, you have to take into account players and mistakes and positioning and things like that. So it's not that Wood Elves don't have a chance, but I think the Lizardman build is very well designed to kill this build. As long as he gets good, consistent fire with those solar engines and makes sure to keep them out of range of the Starfire shafts, he should be in good shape. I used to play chess a lot when I was a kid. My dad is super good at chess. He was like a junior champion in New York. Like when he was a kid, like in New York, he was like, you know, championship level. He was really good. So when I was growing up, my dad used to just punish me in chess all the time, and I learned a little bit, but I didn't have the same passion he did. All right, Wild Riders charging into the skink cohorts here, but taking a massive amount of javelins to the face. Always the problem with chasing those little cohorts is you are going to be eating some javelins in response. On the flank, though, I mean, this is the kind of stuff you need to do to win the game, right? The Wild Riders instantly kill a chameleon skink, which definitely should not be happening. That's got to be pretty painful for sure. And you can see the little chameleons that are going to be running away here. And on the other side, you know, he's cleaning out the cohorts. Really, really good cavalry control here by Call Harmon. I think actually coming out to an early advantage. Skinks are buckled here, here, and here on the other side. The other 3 are pulled back, but they're not being effective right now. They're not shooting at anything. They're not really causing that much disruption. And now you can see Call is going to be able to get all of his Starfire shafts in. He moves those bad boys up. And he's just going to be ripping shots into either Mazda Mundi or even into the solar engines. There's not that much buffering here. The Wood Elves have a lot of space to work with. Therefore, they can move up and unleash, 5 volleys. This is what I like to call the classic RTS concave, where you get that nice, beautiful circular arc of fire here onto a target. Shield of Chaqua might be able to save it. But, even still, this is great. They're not shooting, they're running. This is how the Lizardmen win. Really nice pendulum as well. I actually think the Wood Elves are really, really coming ahead in this game, and honestly, it seems the Lizardmen are kind of falling apart. As one solar engine gets blasted into the Shadow Realm, the Skink Skirmishers are not really doing a whole lot, shooting the Wildwood Rangers, but they've already gotten into the targets they want to fight. Yeah, really, really good start here for the Woodies. And now these guys are just going to be ramming, and yeah, this guy's going to get chased off. There's no way the solar engine's coming back. All of the Starfire shafts are more or less healthy, except this one with good ammo. And now Big Chungus Mazda Mundi is going to be paying a pretty steep price for sure. Here comes Dryka. She's moving. She's moving those branches. 33 speed right now. She is poisoned, of course, but yeah, that solar engine should not be allowed to come back. These Wild Riders should most likely chase that bad boy off the battlefield. And again, if Call is able to win this, we are going to be going to a game 5. And it looks like he's going to at this point. Pendulum going down over here. You can see the Saurus Warriors with shields getting hammered pretty good-like. Pretty good pressure in the back line here by the Lizard people. The Chameleons finally get into the Archers and start to really cause some disruption, but there are Wild Riders back here and Eternal Guard, so they should be able to polish those guys off, while Dryka and the Wildwood Rangers, who of course do hit pretty hard against armor, even against big targets, they can do some work. Should be able to finish off most of the solar engines. Mazda Mundi's very low. It looks like he did use a net on top of the Wild Riders to keep them from chasing off the solar engine, which is a very, very good play. And he's able to turn around and get some shots. This would be a pretty ludicrous comeback here for sure. Yeah, Glade Guard spam. Glade Guards are really, really good units. They're incredibly strong. Oh god, my stomach's growling. I'm so hungry, Anakin. I'm too weak. So here comes the Wildwood Rangers. They're moving and grooving and, putting pressure here on the solar engine. But now they're probably going to turn and attack Mazda Mundi due to the AI tethering. Able to get some nice damage on him. And Alfredinho knows the game is over and withdraws. GG, well played. That was an awesome game. And honestly, Alfred's army could have won. It was just his positioning wasn't quite optimal. And he paid the price for it. Yeah, cool stuff. Glade Guard carried, man. Not too much to look at. Some good value. 1,000 here and there. Nothing super crazy, but... Solar engines got like 300-400 apiece, which is always rough. All right. And now let's go ahead and slap those American pants on that bad boy. Get ready for the next game. And guys, we're going to game 5. We got a glorious rubber match. This is how all series should end, in my opinion. And I know I'm doing a lot of the same maps, but these maps tend to be very fair. So I'm trying to give players a good experience, because nothing feels worse than getting a map loss with like some stupid terrain piece or something like that, right? So Tower of Hoth is okay. Players can kind of camp in terrain. It's a map I've actually considered cutting at times. We can just do the Galbaraz is fine. We'll do this one. Galbaraz is fine. Yeah, that was a good match. Good match indeed. Here they go. You know, we could do a Stallion Tomb, actually. We haven't done that one. Stallion Tomb. I don't think we've done it. We've done Schwarzhofen, a couple other ones. Robert, I just play regular chess. We're super casual. Like, I'm not a good chess player. Like, I don't know opening gambits. I'm just really good at covering my pieces and making sure there's like not super big chinks in my armor. I understand the basic principles, but I'm really not a very good chess player. I'm like very average. You know. Oh, Sashimi Nissan. That's fun, dude. You have to, afterwards, if there's a video on YouTube, you'll have to send me a link. Call already conquered your heart with his playstyle. That's awesome. Yeah, this has been great. All right, I can't hold any longer. I have to eat some of these walnuts, or else my stomach is just going to keep growling the entire time. I'm just going to like choke on walnuts here. That'll be the end of old Turin. Going out wearing his American pants and no shirt, just choking on some peanut or something. So Mark McCoy, I got into RTS games when I was like, God, I was playing original StarCraft and Warcraft 2 Tides of Darkness. So I had dial-up internet when I was really young in the 90s. I would launch AOL dial-up internet, and on the AOL launch page, you could actually play Warcraft 2. And that's where I started playing that. But StarCraft, I was playing the original and Brood War and all that kind of stuff. Okay, Hadries, that's good to know. This week, I'm actually going to go through and take a look at all the maps and like make a list for my tournaments that obviously anyone can use, that maps that I think are fair. There's going to be a lot that are getting the axe. So, Call Harmon picks Dark Elves, Dwarves, and Chaos for his 3 factions, and now he gets 1 ban. So game 5 is a little bit different. If it goes through a rubber match. Yeah. I'm 32 years old. 32 years young, man. Hell yeah, still going strong. Sort of. Like a true American. Eating and talking with a pic of him as... I actually have the American flag pants in my drawer over here, so... Yeah. So good and tasty, man. So good and tasty. All right. I think that that rescue snack of almonds or walnuts should save me here. I should be good. Should be good indeed. So yeah, he's still thinking about his picks and bans. Honestly, that's totally fine. I don't want to rush him here. This is, you know, a tense situation, so the pick is very important. What is dial-up internet? Are you asking that seriously? I mean, I think it's a fair question, especially if you were born after the in the 2000s, but I can't tell if you're just asking for the sake of it. 32, the age where I learned I couldn't drink a big gulp every day and not gain weight. Yeah. Like, I never was able to gain much weight unless I was like working out and that kind, like actual just chungus weight, until I was like 31. Then I got hand surgery in July when I was 31. And then like while I was recovering from surgery, I was like super inactive and I was just like eating like tons of Chinese takeout. And then I was like, oh, holy shit, I'm gaining some weight. The other time in my life I gained weight was when I used to work at a company that almost everyone at the company was Filipino, from the Philippines or like from Filipino families, and 3 or 4 times a week. Sorry about that, guys. There's Anna's cleaning some stuff in the kitchen, and but basically several times a week, the people at the office would bring home cooked Filipino food, so like pancit, tilapia, freaking what else would they bring? No, pancit, tilapia. My brain is so out of it because I haven't eaten, so I'm like having trouble remembering those little fried thing, lumpia. And I got pretty thick when I was working there. Like Filipino food is definitely gets you going. Yeah. Yeah. All's good. Yeah, well, it wasn't much. No. It's all good, Misha. Don't you worry. I don't think anything broke. Yeah. All right. So he's going vampire counts and banning dark elves. Oh my god, did he? Okay, we got dwarves versus vampires. The Jawi. I know some people wanted to see dwarves. So we were at my office when I used to work at the Filipino newspaper, and we had a competition at the office to see who could eat the most lumpia Shanghai. Okoy, yes, I did. I was actually pretty lean back then. But we had a contest to see who could eat the most lumpia Shanghai. So these things were like, if you get your thumb and stick your thumb up, like, it's like the size of your thumb more or less, right? And they're like these fried egg rolls with like meat and onions in them and like some greens. Dude, I ate 40 of them. I was so sick. I ate 40 lumpia and I won the contest. It was like literally like a $10 gift card to like the local market was the prize. I ate 40 of those bad boys. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people are gaining weight during the lockout, Yeah. Satisfy the grudge. So we got dwarfs versus vampire counts here. Yeah, I know. I can eat a lot if I really put my mind to it. Oh, man. What about not cybernetic thumbs? Yeah, it's like the size of your thumb, more or less. Yeah. I felt like I lost because like I literally like suffered and gained weight just to like win a $10 gift card to like Vons or some shit. The daughter of my sister is 12 years old, saw my game PC and wanted to watch some YouTube. She put her finger on the screen trying to start YouTube, no clue how to use the mouse. Oh, it's funny. You're the kind of guy I served during Endless Shrimp at Red Lobster. No, I will not. I don't like buffets. I actually don't. Because I'm kind of paranoid about the germs. My whole life I've been that way. Like, I remember vividly. I was like maybe like 11 years old. I went to a buffet and there was like this like super obese man at the buffet. He had like food all over his shirt and he had like a fanny pack on and like some like short cargo pants. And he went up to like the buffet and was like, firstly, he went to get the macaroni and cheese. He like spilled the mac and cheese on the shit next to it. So it was all covered in cheese. And then he sneezed in it, dude. He sneezed in the mac and cheese, like wiped his nose, just left. I was like, I'm never doing a buffet again. No, never doing a buffet again. It was so gross, dude. And that shit happens, dude. Buffets are really, really like, I understand them from like my inner redneck loves buffets, but like when I saw that, never again, dude. Oh. It's just like you never know whose hands were where, like what germs are being like spit and snotted on the food. It's just like, oh no, dude. Yeah, Red Lobster is, I don't think it's a buffet. I don't know why, but something about Red Lobster just reminded me of a buffet. Dude, that shit happens. Think about that next time you go to one and you see like people, like whole families in there, especially kids. Like young, like kids are just, their nasty little hands just grabbing shit. It's like, no, dude. Yeah. It does happen in kitchens, I'm sure, but like probably not as much. Papa Nurgle I don't want to get the Rona from a buffet, all right? Hoppy, dude, you heard it. You can't unhear it. The buffets cost COVID. After 2020, I can't bear a story like that. I know. Misha says, our buffets here are staffed by professionals that use big soup spoons for everything. Okay. Sounds better. I've worked at a fancy buffet. You swap food quite often. See, that's good. I think if you went to a buffet and the people don't get to handle the food, but like there's like someone at each station like putting it on your plate, that's better. All right? That's way better. But if it's one of the Wild West ones where you just get like a million hands from like people all over it, it's like, no. I'm not signing up for that. Oh, I used to love Sizzlers as a kid too. Dude, I used to love buffets when I was like 5, 8 years old. I would go ham in those things, dude. Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah, this matchup, I definitely favor the vampires here, actually. I used to like dwarves in it, but I find that there's a couple builds, if Alfred knows them, are really difficult for dwarves to beat. Oh, Anticity, you're learning some cooking today. Right on, dude. that was you who sneezed, huh? Well, dude, I was like 11 years old, so that was like literally 20 plus years ago, and that guy was easily in his 60s, so you would be in your 80s or 90s now. Dude, buffets are so fun. Yeah, I appreciate them, but I just can't. I used to love them, but ever since that, I just could never do it again. One of my favorite things is going to like an Italian restaurant and getting the infinite breadsticks. Like if I go to like even a cheap Italian restaurant and they give you like free garlic bread, dude, I'm gonna have just a full boner the whole time. Like just give me all that. Yeah. No, Misha, he didn't get it that bad, if I'm not mistaken. I actually got minor food poisoning in England before the Everchosen. So there was one Everchosen where, like, we were there 2 days before the Everchosen in Horsham, and they took us out to dinner at, like, a bar. It was, like, a pub. And I got some, like, really gnarly pub food. And, or maybe it was at Weatherspoons. Because I ate at Spoons. I don't know if it was Spoons or the other place we went. Because I ate at Spoons. It was probably Spoons. And, like, 2 days up to the Everchosen, I was just, like, in the hotel dying. And then, like, I barely recovered in time to do Everchosen. I was suffering. Oh, hell yeah. Give me some of that Olive Garden. Yes. Yeah, maybe he did, Misha. I don't know. He hit it well. Dawi Air Force, no. Because every gyrocopter you bring dies to a single fellbat. It's just not cost effective. If you wanted to really gamble, if you're like a gambling type, you could bring like 5 gyros and just hope they don't bring that much air, and then you could actually be in really good shape. But it's a gamble. It's a huge gamble. Dude, I didn't know Spoons was like super haggard. Spartacus and I landed in England. Nobody greeted us. We just like went to our hotel. We were both starving, right? And the first thing we see was Spoons. We're like, hey, let's go check out this like Spoons. We had no idea about Spoons being like what it is. No idea. So we went to Spoons. It was like $4 and I got like this huge plate. Dude, it could have been Spoons. I don't know. The pub food though was like kind of questionable too. Not to say though, we did go to some places in Horsham that I loved. Some really, really good, like kind of shepherd's pie type stuff. Like, some good fish, like fried fish. I really did like actually enjoy a lot of the food over there. But there was a couple things. Weatherspoons are literal Russian roulette. Valnir says you ate at Spoons. Food poisoning is the least of your worries. It was all the Brits in chat are like, dude, it was definitely Spoons, bro. It's really funny because the last night before we left Horsham too, on another time, we all went and partied at Spoons. There's just all these like decrepit alcoholics in there, and just, oh my god, it was so fun. I actually have a bit of a nostalgic attachment to Spoons. I enjoyed it. It's right up my alley. All right, guys. Sorry, got to get rid of the blocker. I've been having too much fun ranting and telling stories with you guys. So now we're back in business. This is game 5, guys. It's a rubber match. For the armies here of Call Harmon, we have Iron Breakers and Dwarf Warriors. But look at this. Double Iron Drake. Okay, I'm excited for this. Trollhammer Torpedo. Thorgrim Grudge Bearer as well. and Thunderers with Hammerers in the back. A very interesting army. If we've seen anything here about Mr. Harmon today, it's that he certainly uses off-meta builds and is able to make them work relatively well, for sure. Now for the vampires, let's see how meta this is. We got a Lamian Vampire Lord, which is one of the best lords for anti-sniping. Double Vargulf, a Graveguard with Great Weapon Zombies and Fellbats with Cairn Race on the flanks. Pretty meta. This is like a strong, solid build. No black coaches. I think you might see black coaches more than Vargulfs, but Vargulfs are still good too. So yeah. That's that. Spoons' curse breaks at land. Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, it was fun. They took us to Spoons on the last night just to get drinks. It wasn't like oh, this is our when CA took us to dinner. It was usually it was nicer places. It was like you know, a nice Thai restaurant or a nice like kind of fusion restaurant. Yeah. I know I'm always talking about food. Oh, dude, Polish food is so freaking good. I always joke with Anna. I'm like, there's certain foods that I eat that when I eat it, it brings like an actual tear to my eye, like a tear of joy, and like Polish food is like one of those. Yeah. Oh, is it a Rune Lord? Oh, it is a Rune Lord. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. So yeah, it's a Rune Lord. Good catch. So the Rune Lord here actually has the Anvil of Locus of Power, which gives plus 15 additional. So the entire Dwarf army actually has 40% magic resist, which is really good against Cairn Wraith spam, because Cairn Wraiths, of course, will be hitting like wet noodles. Essentially, their damage is going to be almost halved. They'll have like more or less like 16 weapon strength. Something like that. All right, guys. The Jawi Warfire Throwers, I know. Players getting set up. Obviously, it's game 5. There's a lot here at stake. The winner of this game will be earning a prize and also will be qualifying. So I also give prizes for my qualifiers. It's not huge, but it's certainly something. So they'll be earning a cash prize, and on top of that, they'll be qualifying for the grand finals to join Falcon atop the Throne of Skulls. Yep. I know, Misha, I know. Turin, after visiting Poland, after years, I literally had tears of joy eating authentic home-cooked Polish food. Yeah, I've been there, man. I've been there. I have been there. Yeah. I could probably just eat pierogies all day, every day. Like, the only food I eat. Yeah. I definitely could. All right, the battle is underway. The Iron Drakes are moving forward. The dwarves not happy to sit back and cower in the forest. The brave Jawi move forward. Of course, always fun to see. And this is, you know, vampires want to get a surround, right? So vampires, what they'll do is they'll just get a big chunk of surround here, and then they'll collapse at the same time. So Graveguard moving out to the flanks, Cairn Race moving out to the flanks. Zombies will be sent up the front just to take the beating from Longbeards and the different chaff troops and things like that. The Dawi are really pressing the are pushing the issue here. It looks like he does also have Ulthar's Raiders here, so he can mark with Ulthar to make things a little bit weaker against missile and lower its armor, which makes the Iron Drakes a little bit better as well. Where does the prize money come from? No, just out of pocket. It's not like, you guys obviously donate a lot on stream, so I just use that. Yeah. Oftentimes for like bigger tournaments, I'll just take money from the Patreon donations I get and put those towards the prize pool if it's like $200, $300, $400 kind of thing. So, because my grand finals usually have like $300 to $500 in that range. Sometimes we get sponsors too. It depends. Anyways, Iron Drakes here. Gonna probably just roast some of them zombies right there. You can see here in the back we do have the Quarrelers shooting at the Lamian Lord. Nice zombie summon. This is the Scourge of... ooh, but looks like it got bathed in fire a little bit. Marked by Ulthar too. A little bit risky. Not risky, but... oh, look at that. Master Rune of Wrath and Ruin. That thing only has 26 speed, so the Thunderers might be able to rip some fat volleys into that Lamian Vampire Lord. Very, very nice there. The Zombie Summit, of course, shuts down the Iron Drakes, but it's not going to win any beauty contest. Now in the back line, this is where things get very messy for the Dawi. The Cairn Race are very hard to kill without magic damage, so you're going to have to just deal with them the old-fashioned way. But yeah, that Lamian Vampire Lord taken down to half health instantly is really, really good. So blasting charges here into the Cairn Race, barely does any damage. Iron Drakes still shooting, and man, they're getting a bunch of damage here into the Graveguard with Great Weapons, which are moving through, but not before they're getting bathed in some hot fire. And the balance of power is already very, very Dawi favored. You can see it's tilting into their favor here, which means they've done some lethal damage to the dragon. They've killed several units of Graveguard, or at least on the way to doing it. Hammers, of course, will pound these zombies, and then from there they should move on to the Graveguard. But slight misplay having the Hammers fighting zombies, but you know, you can't get everything. They're much more maneuverable. Good breath attack coming in from Alfred, able to punish those elite Dawi infantry, certainly one of the liabilities of using such units. Cairn Race really causing a lot of problems too, but the Ulthar's Raiders here, going up to the front, maybe to try and pick off these Grave Guard, which are in sustained combat here. Balance of Power is back to the middle now, so you can see that the Vampires have gotten back in the game. And that's to be expected. When advancing into the battle, they're going to take damage, and once they saturate and start to counter and shut down some ranged pieces, they'll pull back in the Balance of Power, right? That's just the ebb and flow of this particular matchup. I don't think we have Peak Gate Guard. Peak Gate Guard are kind of a cheeky source of magic damage against Cairn Race, because the Cairn Race are really, really disruptive here. They're causing a lot of problems, and for some godforsaken reason, Rune Lords do not do magic damage. You would think they would, but... Miners with blasting charges, and the Longbeards getting caught with the pendulum. Ironbreaker is moving out, and the dreaded Iron Drake Kite is underway. Graveguard are very, very slow here. You can see they got, 27 speed, and the Iron Drakes have 26, so yeah, the Kite is on. Merrill Jackson, welcome to the Dukes of Haggard. Hopefully you enjoy the emojis, and really appreciate all the new memberships today, guys. Memberships are cool, because it's like a safe investment, right? It keeps the channel going steady. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that, Merrill. Or Merlin? Merlin Jackson, not Merrill. Merlin Jackson. Merlin, appreciate that. Merlin's a cool name. Thank you so much. Rune Lord piling in. Iron Drakes in guard mode, trying to shoot that Vargulf, and you can see the Ulthar's Raiders are kind of stuck in combat. This game really has devolved into a pretty even match. Granted, the fact that the Lamian Vampire Lord is so beat up, and there are some pretty healthy hammerers here on the far side, and these Dawi are certainly putting a righteous hammering here onto the Graveguard. Graveguard Great Weapons getting beaten down by these Dawi. They, of course, have 55 weapon strength, pretty damn good melee attack, and high armor, so they're very durable against chaff. So the Dawi Hammer Squad performing quite well. Here you can see some Thunders are routing, probably won't be able to turn back before that Vampire Gorilla is able to come over there and give them a good old righteous proper whooping. Cairn Race still causing a lot of disruption. Here these poor Iron Drakes are still trying to run. This is probably a lot of his micros being allocated to try and keep those guys alive, but eventually the Graveguard will get them. They're slightly faster with one more speed, so the chase, the catch, it's inevitable. Now my concern for this Dwarf army is, outside of the Iron Drakes and the Ulthar's Raiders, they don't have a lot that's very good against like Vargulfs and big monsters, but you can see the bounce power is kind of reflecting that. Like, he had the double Iron Drake, right? Looks like we have some Iron Drakes coming back here. That's the kind of stuff he's going to need to kill these big boys. Cairn Race can kite him. Iron Drake's back here getting chased off. And now the bounce of power is going back into the favor of Alfredinho. It looks like he's certainly has the tools to win this with the double Vargulf. Although I think one of them is dead, maybe? No way. Cute little breath attack there. Able to hit those guys. Not bad. I could have sworn there was another Vampire Gorilla somewhere. So we got one over here. Yep, there's another one chasing all these guys off. So 2 Vargulfs being alive is a big problem. Like, Hammerers won't do jack shit against the Vargulf. They're just gonna get punted and really, really have a bad time in that situation. Looks like there's going to be a Marks by Ulthar going down here. This would be one way that maybe the Dawi could get back in the game, is if they can punish this Lord here. You can see Lightning Fast Reflexes used, very, very good usage. Rune of Wrath and Ruin being used to attempt to allow the Ulthar's Raiders to get it, but Alfred is able to outmaneuver there and get back up in the sky, and the Cairn Race have now blocked up the Ulthar's Raiders, and man oh man, even if they don't do a lot of damage, they are a very annoying force to have to kind of drag down. We do have a lot of like meat though on the ground. I mean, a lot of elite infantry still left with these hammers over here, which are charging into the Vargulf, which should be able to heal through their DPS, or at least, kite it back. A couple of volleys going in. Oh, and the Iron Drake's able to get a nice little volley there too. And now it looks like the Dragon thinking about landing here. Probably going to try and break these guys. Merlin, thank you for the 500 NIO. I don't know what that currency is, but I will take it. Thank you so much, my friend. And yeah, man, goal achieved. So will the Dawi pull this one out, or will the dreaded Vampire Counts and Alfredinho get it? It's hard to say. Cairn Race are breaking down now. Of course, the Vargulfs are going to be a problem, and something else to consider is that there's still a very, very healthy unit of Graveguard with great weapons. Almost done. It's dope. So Graveguard with great weapons going to be rear charging into the back of the hammers here. Lady Turin saying hello. Rune Lord is not great in combat either. If that was Thorgrim, I might feel a little bit better for the dwarves, but without Thorgrim or like a really meaty lord to actually fight these monsters, the Rune Lord is going to get punted pretty bad. And all the Dawi really have are infantry. Some are ITP, the Longbeards and Ironbreakers, if I'm not mistaken, but the other troops are not. Now the vampire monsters are really coming into play. It's like 15 bucks. Hey man, dude, that's super generous. I appreciate that. CGC Ghouls, thank you for becoming a member here on the channel. Once again, the Dukes have grown by 8 members today. Right on, dude. Right on. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's very generous, guys. Thank you for the donations. Yeah, I don't know if the Dawi can do it, guys. I think without a combat lord, like if this was a Grombrindle, I'd be like, okay, he can like stand amongst the infantry and really punish these big boys. But yeah, the Rune Lord, it's a tall order, dude. Longbeards are wavering. Like the Dwarf Warriors here are very low. Oh, how many are here? 69, baby. We found it. We did it. A couple Iron Drakes coming back too. Might be able to rip a volley here. You can see the last Samurai coming in. Oh God, is it gonna shoot? Nope. Just going to get pounded by the gorilla, lose 2 models, and that is not going to be fun. And the dwarves should be able to finish off the Graveguard, which will leave the vampires with only single entities, which will limit their cycle charging. They can still change targets, they just can't cycle charge. That's kind of the new amendment to the rules. And ghouls, again, welcome. Thank you for becoming a member, dude. Oh, look at that. There's even Fellbats in the distance. What are they? They're chasing off some Iron Drakes with Trollhammer torpedoes, it looks like. Man, they've been chasing those things off for literally like 5 minutes. And the Graveguard crumbling down. But the big goon squad of the Lamine Vampire Lord and the Vargulfs are just going ham on these guys. And Vargulfs are strong, independent vampire gorillas. They regenerate, so you don't need to worry about babysitting them. And another zombie summon here, very, very strong, because even if the Graveguard do crumble, that buys you time to cycle charge because the zombies do obey the attacking rules. Ghoul says, no problem, man. Love watching your content. Keep up the good work. I will, dude. I will. Lamine Vampire Lord going crazy. Lightning fast reflexes. Dwarves are looking danger close to army losses. I think this is the end for the Dawi. But nonetheless, it has been an amazing series. Very well played to Carl Harmon and Alfredinho. But from the looks of things, it would seem that Alfredinho, after coming very close last week to qualifying, is going to be qualifying for the ECL Grand Finals of Season 6. Amazing, amazing play on both players. Very unorthodox builds were super fun to watch, but in the end, the Vampires pulled that one out. No FFAs. No, I have to help Lady Turin with some stuff, actually. Yeah. GG, well played. Yeah, Slayer would have been helpful for sure. I love the Hammerers. I think maybe the one thing you could have done without would have been the Ironbreakers. Like, mix them in for, like, either, yeah, a couple, like, Slayers or something. I don't like the Rune Lord either. I know it helps with the Cairn race, but, like, he just isn't that impactful here. Whereas, like, Grombrindle, Smoke Bombs, and things like that are very, very strong. So, in the end, that is going to be a 3-2 victory. Very well played to these two fine gentlemen. And with that, we shall have the ceremonial etching of the name. So we shall add him here. And let's get the text. Alfred. Alfredinho. All right, very cool. He is going to be the second qualifier for the season. Very, very well played to him. I feel like Falcon's name is a different font. I think I know what it is. Is it this one? Yes. Now he's got the cool font too. All right, GG, well played. Alfredinho will be qualifying for the Grand Finals with a 3-2 victory. Awesome games on both ends. I look forward to seeing Carl Harmon in the tournament once again. It was a pleasure seeing him play. He did a great job. Alfred, of course, and Ace as always. Some masterful Skaven play throughout the day. And a salute to all of those who have fallen as well. To those who attempted to qualify, didn't quite make it. Appreciate having you guys here. You guys are what make the community awesome. So, yeah, that was really, really strong. So he might get a chance to rematch Falcon in the Grand Finals because they had a really good series. I'm sure they'll want to run it back and get that juicy, juicy rubber match. So we will see. So guys, I just want to thank you all for some donations and memberships. So we have new members today. We have CGC Ghouls, Meryl Jackson Knighthood, Danger Donger, Craig Stevenson, Alex, Chris, and you guys are all the new members. And now for donations, oh my God, you guys are way too generous. You need to calm down with that. Simon Benjamin with the huge 50. Great content as always, helping us through the UK winter gloom. I got you, man. I'm excited to get it back out to the UK. I would love to go to the UK, bring my Warhammer armies, and like go play with like Winter's SEO and like some of the tabletop clubs out there. That'd be so much fun. Simon Benjamin, man, thank you so much for closing out the stream with that huge donation, man. That is super generous. Thanks to Blake as well. Merlin Jackson, Mark McCoy, Presser Sleepy Time ASMR, Jack Daniels, Craig Stevenson, Jack Daniels again, Chris, Ruben Bunskoke, Oiva, Major Mula, Ziggy Williamson, Richard Askaroth, David Pirelli, and thank you guys all so much for your donations. And closing it out is the Halo Watch. Really like your content. Keep it up. I will. Tomorrow we're going to be taking off streaming, but I will be back Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday with streams. It is going to be fun. Look forward to seeing you guys there. And that's it for now. Aces, my friends. Sorry about Spoons from all of the UK. You know what? I like haggard places, so Spoons was an endearing memory to me. I do not regret it. I do not regret it. Although I did regret it afterwards, but now I don't. All right, guys, that is it. Congratulations to Alfredinho. He is going to be our qualifier. He joins Falcon in the Parchment of Sigmar, and we'll be back with a stream in the next few days. But until then, you guys stay safe, avoid the Rona, and enjoy some time with your family, friends, significant others, all that sort of good stuff. And that's it. All right, guys, thanks for joining. We'll see you around, and you guys stay safe and take care. Cheers.